Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. I am Tim Poole. It's TimcastIRL podcast. I'm hanging out with some of my friends tonight, and boy, do we got some news.
Some news. We got some good news. What's up, everybody?
Real news.
How you doing?
News.
Thanks for coming by. It's Adam Krigler. How you doing? Thank you. Hey.
We're also hanging out with the ever-present
voice from the side, producer Lydia. Hey, guys.
No longer disembodied.
That's right.
No longer disembodied.
That's nice.
So, what's going on?
Why don't you tell us what's happening, Tim?
YouTube's broken again.
Oh no!
Yeah.
This again.
Of course,
we're having
it is.
crazy story. That's what's happening right now. So first of all, I'm looking over at the YouTube studio and it's been busted and the views are going down, and it's funny because our lead segment is
YouTube.
No, it's suppression of content.
Yeah.
It almost feels like a man that support for Trump is actually very high, and the media is either wrong or manipulating or lying. I say feels like. I'm not saying I know anything for sure.
Yeah.
But there was a video that was put up about you.
Oh,
my
yeah.
good friend, Mr. Adam Krigler.
That's right.
Many of you viewers may have seen it. Adam, it was a segment from the show where Adam was talking about like now deciding to vote for Trump.
Yep.
2.4 million views on Facebook.
On one from the Hodge twins alone.
Yeah, one clip and gone.
Yeah, they deleted it.
I don't know who deleted it or why. I think it would be weird the Hodge twins would have deleted it.
I don't think they
But
did.
I don't think so either because apparently other people reposted it.
Yep.
It's also gone from their pages too.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Could it be that you've got a long-haired hippie vegan dude who's like, I'm voting for Trump, and then they're like, nuke it, get rid of it.
You know what we should do? I should post it. I should put it out there.
Yeah.
Because it's me.
Yeah,
what are they going to tell me? Copyrighted for? Well, no, it's
man,
actually
no.
you.
Yeah.
No, it's a threat.
I think I know.
I'm what they're afraid of, I'm sure.
I think I know what it is. Project Veritas just released footage from Facebook content moderators who straight up said, we will delete you.
Yep, that's right. That's
and
true.
It is. And, they probably don't delete things like the Hodge twins themselves, or was it Terrence Williams?
Yeah.
Yep.
Because they're high profile enough to where people would freak out.
Right.
But they get rid of the one video they posted of you, and nobody realizes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they don't want it, man.
Yep, they're afraid.
So check it out. We got a bunch of stuff to talk about. We're talking about this. We're going to talk about Candace Owens puts out a video about George Floyd. 92 million views.
92 million.
Think about what happens if those 92 million people vote. Now, of course, not everybody who watched it is in America.
Or
some of the views,
or agrees with it.
Or agrees with it. Not every single person even watched most of it.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
And some people may have watched it twice or watched it halfway through and then came back later. Who knows? Mm-hmm. But you think about how many views are appearing on a lot of these videos, and how many of them are unique is the big question. How many people will be activated for this election and are not being pulled, cannot be pulled, and will swing for Trump? So this is the big question we are asking. And it's political season, so we're getting pretty political. But Tucker Carlson broke cable news ratings history with the latest post from Adweek.
History.
Averaging like 4.33 million viewers per show, which is the highest in cable TV news ratings history.
That's crazy.
Now you know why they're trying to destroy his show and take out his advertisers.
Yep.
Think about how stupid you have to be to be an advertiser. Like, we want to figure out where we can get a good audience. And they're like, well, here's a guy who has the highest ratings in cable news history. But these 7 anime avatar furry people on Twitter told me he was a Nazi. So I'm going to pull all my ads. And there you go.
That's that.
The My Pillow guy's making a killing.
Right.
That guy's like,
sure.
Dude, selling those pillows. I have one. They're pretty good, actually.
I love those pills. I have 2.
Is he advertising on them?
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't watch.
Yeah, he's a big advertiser for Tucker. They're expensive, I guess.
They're worth it, man.
I do like it because it's I don't know, it's like packing peanuts in.
Yeah, it's like really soft, fluffy stuff. It's not down.
Yeah.
Do either of you have one of the My Pillows?
Yeah,
We're talking about it. Yes,
I have 2.
Absolutely.
You have 2 of them?
Yeah, one's for my knees.
Okay.
I think you only need one. Because I was at Walmart and I saw it and I laughed.
Okay.
'Cause he's like the guy. It's like the My Pillow guy.
He's the guy.
He's the guy. And I was like, I do need a pillow.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm gonna try it out.
Yep.
I got one.
So great.
It's perfect.
It's hard to find a good pillow though.
It's good.
True, yeah.
It's true.
They're washable and dryable.
I use
love it,
regular
yeah.
pillows for like support, and this one is like the main go-to thing. So look at that. Anyway, enough promoting the My Pillow guy for whatever reason.
For free.
By the way, YouTube,
free.
they have not paid us.
That's right. It's totally for free.
I guess I can only speak for
Adam's
myself.
not in on this.
Hey man,
I'm not in on the
Hey,
take.
whoa.
What's the deal?
I want to get on in this My Pillow money.
That's right.
What's going on, man?
Yeah.
Who's getting paid by the My Pillow guy?
That's a great brand.
Tucker Carlson is.
Yeah.
But so when they came for Tucker, he switched. So a lot of his normal ad spots are just they promote Fox shows and they promote Fox Nation.
Okay.
But it's interesting to see at a time when cable is collapsing that Tucker Carlson would do so well and break records. That's kind of crazy, man. Kind of crazy.
I don't know. I don't agree. I think it's exactly what I expected. Because he's saying what a lot of people are thinking.
Yeah, but like they could watch online.
Okay.
He's breaking TV ratings history. It's you know, but I think it is. I think it's still fair to say that cable TV news ratings are going down, but a larger portion of viewers are watching him. So it's like, let's say you got 100 people, and then over the past year you lose 10 of them, but of those remaining 90, a larger group is now watching Tucker Carlson. That's why I'm like, is all this negative Trump stuff just wrong? You know, just straight up wrong. And it's 2016 all over again. Trump's losing. It's impossible. So here's what we got. We got a bunch of stories for you, actually. So we got Politico straight up saying the polls are wrong, baby.
Yep.
And Trump knows it.
And they're still wrong.
He's going after it. He's like, they're basically saying what the Democrats can't figure out is that Trump is, you can watch what he's doing and who he's targeting, and they scoff like, those people will never go out and support you. And then they do, and then Trump wins.
Yep.
So maybe all the data they have makes sense in a traditional setting, but Trump has just totally flipped the board, and it's like a different game altogether now.
Yeah, they're scrambling. Clearly, they're scrambling.
But we got a bunch of other stories too. There's one we absolutely have to talk about. Apparently, if you go out and protest and say the words "no lockdown,"
Yes.
COVID just sprays everywhere. Everyone's coughing and gagging. But if you go out and protest and say instead Black Lives Matter, all of a sudden the virus dissipates and everyone's cheering and laughing. We have a story. I kid you not.
I can't.
I love this
He told me
story.
this earlier, and I was on the floor. I was crying
That was
in tears.
amazing.
How funny that is. It's just
There is
that people actually believe this.
Seriously,
There's a story
yeah,
that
they did a
says
study.
they said protesting for
Oh,
Black Lives
gosh.
Matter has slowed the spread of COVID. Magic.
Can't handle it.
It's magic.
It's
No, it
just
is.
so funny.
It's amazing.
It's what they believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've got science behind
But
me.
you know the best part
I
is-
believe the
The,
science.
the argument is that by going out and protesting, more people ended up staying home than normal. How does that make sense?
It doesn't.
So let me do the math. Okay, normally everyone's locked down in their houses. They can't go out. There's no restaurants anywhere. You tell tens of thousands of people to go out into the streets, and now there's less people at home?
Yeah,
Like,
right.
bro, there's more people at home? Like, wait.
I'm
You know, man.
confused.
More people at home and less COVID contracting because of reasons.
reasons.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, man. I don't know if it's the Illuminati or the aliens or
No, you know what?
The-
You called this like a month ago. You're like, you know what? I think this conspiracy. This is what it is. Ready? Are you ready for this? The Democrats want Trump to win.
yeah, I know.
I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
know.
like really trying hard to figure out what their plan is. Like someone on Facebook today was like, well, what is Trump's, like, what is he going to run on? You know, what is his platform? And I was just like, oh, I could talk about this. Like, let's talk about it, you know? And then, of course, there's some Trump haters that came in just dropping some hate. And I'm like, okay, yeah, but what is Biden going to run on? What's his
Yeah.
platform?
Listen here,
what's it
fat.
going to be?
Listen here,
Look
fat.
fat.
Look fat. Is that what he said?
Yes,
Look fat.
I said look fat.
Look fat. You know,
I see why your wife left you.
You know, the thing.
Yeah.
We say.
Yeah.
Dog face, pony soldier.
Yeah,
Dog-faced
we'll hear
lion,
it when he
dog
actually
face, pony
is able to say
No
it.
malarkey.
No malarkey.
We'll take you
Like
outside.
Joe,
That's right.
you've been sleeping in your basement.
Oh,
But
man.
there's another conspiracy right
oh
now.
yeah, there's
Oh,
another
goodness.
one.
Oh, yeah,
that
that's right. We were
Joe,
talking about this.
Joe Biden has been faking
Yeah.
dementia the whole time
Ooh.
to lull Trump supporters into a false sense of security where they laugh and talk about how dumb Biden is, how he can never win. And then after the DNC, all of a sudden, Joe pops a little bit of uppers. And all of a sudden, he's like, yo, listen up here. I'm Joe Biden. I got a big policy coming up for the next 20 years. And you're like, whoa, Joe, talking a million miles an hour.
Joe the auctioneer.
Yeah, but it's
Yep.
going to backfire on him because, like, halfway through his rant, he's
His
going to be
eye
like,
pops.
just like, have an aneurysm.
You know why I don't believe that is because Joe's eye popped on
It did.
during
yeah.
debate.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
oh, wait. Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
it's just like, and all blood was everywhere in his eye, and his
Probably because he took a little bit of uppers.
Maybe he
Yeah.
did. I don't know.
that's because he's old and his veins popped. in
Also,
his eye.
that could be
falling
it. Yeah,
apart.
that's true.
No, but I do think, come on, man, like he may be slipping, but they can give him some pills. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And then he'll be wired. He's gonna be up there talking a million miles an hour,
He's not gonna make
and you're
any
gonna be
sense.
like, "Wow, no, yeah, man." You know, there are some particularly potent uppers out there. You know, not particularly legal, but come on, they want to win.
Well, how do you know so much about it?
What do you mean?
Huh?
Because I've watched
question.
TV shows and
I'm just
and
messing.
movies.
Yeah.
I'm just messing with
All
you.
right. So let's do this. Let's for those that are just tuning in, you can
Smash the like button. I was waiting for my camera.
Sorry, guys. I was like, wait, what are we waiting
I'm
for?
like, Lydia, come on, hit me with the camera.
We are
Smash the like button.
well-oiled machine
Oh,
over here.
yes, smash it.
Smash the like button. Don't forget, you can also smash the subscribe button,
You
the like
can,
button, the
and you
notification
should.
bell.
All
And
of
you
those
can
things.
you can follow us all
And
on
we're,
our appropriate handles.
We are going to have a website set up
Mm-hmm.
sometime soon, hopefully. We got a big project in the works.
Big
Hopefully,
project.
It's taking longer than I wanted it to because it's probably now going to be like a month and a half from what we originally thought we were going to have. But there's going to be it's just rapid expansion.
Yes.
You notice we said that we're getting out of New Jersey, so there's going to be a big moves,
Mm-hmm.
big moves.
Big moves.
Let's do this.
Big moves are happening.
Let's talk about this video with none other than Mr. Adam Crypto.
Then yours truly, that would be me.
Yeah.
So
this thing's gone viral. Like, it's being shared thousands of times.
Well, so
I'm shocked.
This is a video of you
During our rant from the last
Yeah.
week.
So it was last Monday,
Yeah,
right?
last Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Last Monday, you started talking about how you have decided you're going to vote for Trump.
Yep.
And you got some flack for it, I guess.
I'm still getting flack for it.
People are like,
today,
"How
today
dare
people
you."
were like, "I don't know you anymore," and I was
Oh.
like, "Well, you want to talk about it?" And they're like, "Block." I'm like, "Oh, so you don't want to even discuss it?" Sure, all right.
Were you ever really friends?
Yes, actually, that's the sad part. Like,
too
bad. I
or
don't think so.
rather, I thought. So
I
it's
don't- I
like
don't-
whatever.
I don't think you are. I don't think you ever really were.
It seems like it. Seems so.
Yeah.
It's like if you don't. I appreciate everyone's opinion. I wanted to hear this person's opinion. I'm not gonna like say who they were, but regardless, I was just speaking my mind on when we were both ranting. We both kind of went on a rant that day,
Yep.
and my rant was basically saying I'm sick of it. I've been immersed in the news and the counter news and what's really going on, hearing the actual speeches by our current president and how the mainstream media actually portrays what he's saying, and I'm like, okay, that's not true. And I'm doing all my own research. We spoke about China a little bit, about how they're trying to take over, and corporations are losing a lot of money by him trying to bring manufacturing back.
We talked about how a lot of people who said they flipped to join the Trump train as soon as they actually saw him give a speech and realized the media had been lying to them about everything.
Yep.
And so that was their moment. And then you mentioned that similarly.
Yep.
You started actually listening to what he was saying, and you're like, that's not what the media said.
Exactly.
That's great, dude.
Nearly every speech of his
I know.
is the same, and I'm like, how
many-
can that be? Like, how are they skewing it so far from what he's saying that it's just them making up their own narrative that they want to push onto people? And it's like, I don't like anyone pushing anything on me. I like thinking for myself, and that's literally what I said. So, and now it was blasted. Liberal, thinks for himself, thinks logically.
Wait, they misgendered you. That's the best, funniest part.
They did. They said
Liberal says they're voting for Trump, and I was like, he's clearly a
he's
man.
a dude, obviously.
maybe it was the long hair that was throwing him off.
No,
And the
that
beard.
shouldn't do it.
Hey.
No, because there was that lingerie ad. Was it for lingerie? I
yeah,
don't
I
remember
think
what
it
it was
was.
for, but like, it was just like what looked like a beardy man with lingerie on. And it was something about women being women. I was like,
Oh.
There are
Ooh.
trans people with beards, so I think that's a fair point. I think they're being polite and not trying to misgender you because they didn't know.
well, I'm a man, and you
And-
can call me as such. I'm offended that you misgendered me.
There you go. Doesn't
So
count.
it
You're
goes
white.
2 ways, people.
They did. They said there because they were trying to be polite, and it said liberal, so they didn't know.
I don't even know if I was considered a liberal.
Well,
like,
look.
I just didn't pay attention.
were.
Because
You
I
were.
was in my own little bubble, a world that I
Who was
lived in.
Who was the last president you voted for?
In 2008, I voted for Obama. Yes.
Bingo.
Yeah.
You see?
It was the first time I was able
So
to vote.
you weren't like a hardcore far leftist or Democrat waving the party flag or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think I don't know who coined this. I think it may have been Breitbart. Default liberal.
Okay.
Like a regular person who just lives in a city, doesn't follow too much,
Right.
and then goes and votes for a Democrat. And so you're the typical.
Yep.
It's called passive liberal, I think, according to the Hidden Tribes thing. It's like people who just live in cities and are just like, yep, and they press the D button.
And if those people that were like me, that were living in their own little bubble, saw that video of me being a liberal, like it said, liberals using logic, thinking for himself, and doing his own research. That's basically what it said, and that's what we were talking about.
They
And
deleted the video.
They deleted the video.
Because-
It's been deleted all over
Check it
the
out,
place
check it
now.
out. Check it out. So I shared this. 2+ million views. Wow. And I thought my rant would go viral.
I told you I'm slowly taking over the show.
So I did. So I had a rant where I was like, you got to stand up for yourself and stop, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then afterwards,
Solid rant.
I actually got hit up by a ton of high-profile people being like, yo, we're sharing this. Can we talk? And people wanting to come on their shows and stuff like that. And I was like, after the show, like I had a feeling because people were saying things like, yo, put that clip up.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden it was your clip.
I know.
Gets 2.4 million views on Facebook.
I was surprised myself.
The segment we did with both of the rants ended up getting like 500,000 on YouTube.
Wow.
And they snipped this one, bit where you're like, here's why I'm doing it. Here's what I think.
Yeah.
Started to go crazy viral. So I shared it. And this morning I got a notification on it and I looked at the comments and people were like, that's really cool that, your buddy's thinking for himself. There were people saying things like, Adam's kind of like a good everyman representation. And they're like, it's interesting to see his perspective. And then this afternoon, at some point, I went and it's gone.
I don't know.
It's just gone. And so I went to the Hodge Twins' page. Gone.
Yep.
So I sent him a message and I was like, did you guys delete this? It's gone. And I haven't heard back or anything.
Yeah.
And there were other pages that posted too, also gone.
Yep.
And then I look at what Project Veritas said.
Exactly.
So if you guys aren't familiar, James O'Keefe, Project Veritas, did this expose where an actual content moderator, I believe he was, for Facebook, on the record with hidden camera footage showing all these people saying things like, if it's a video of a Trump supporter, I'll delete it for terrorism.
Yep.
So I wonder what happened. You post the Hodge Twins, you post Diamond and Silk, you post Candace Owens, and the moderators are probably like, we know who they are.
Yep.
Like, there's nothing we can do. But all of a sudden I see a video of this regular old, vegan, urban hippie kind of dude.
Vegan hippie dippy looking dude.
Being like, yo, we got to do it, man. And they're like, uh-oh.
Oh no, we can't have people like that thinking for themselves.
Yep.
That's
We got to maintain control.
That's right.
Nuked it.
Not if I can help it.
Well, that's why we want. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to lead with this actual segment again.
Yeah.
Because I will post it.
Yeah.
And we'll post exactly about how they deleted it. You just keep doing it, and we'll keep talking about it.
That's
Yeah.
right.
So this all ties into this bigger idea that because we were talking about this, and I'm like, man, 2.4 million people sharing this video. Trump supporters, conservatives right now are like they're at war. I mean, figuratively, they're
Yeah.
like active. They are paying attention. And then this story breaks from Adweek. Check this out. Well, I guess we can't pull it up because let me see if I can try and refresh it.
Oh no, this gave us such a
Yeah.
pain.
Anyway, you know what? Don't worry about it. The headline's right there. Fox News
there we
Q2 2020 ratings. Tucker Carlson averaged 4.33 million viewers at 8 p.m., the largest audience in cable news history.
Wait, what did it say? It says averaged, so that's over the course of his
Yep.
show?
Averaged.
So
no,
it could've
like
peaked.
the entirety of his show. It could have been a little bit higher, a little bit lower, but every
Wow.
episode he's averaging. This is cable news history.
That's huge.
Tucker Carlson is, I've said it before, he's one of the best, if not the best, in cable TV news. You don't have to agree with all of his opinions
Yeah, you
because he
have said
certainly
that.
has conservative opinions, but he gets very often his facts straight.
He's talented.
He's talented. He
Well-read.
gets things wrong. But the bigger issue is that he's very much pro-Trump. He's very critical of Republicans. He's been going after these do-nothing Republicans quite a bit.
Yep,
But
he has.
the people who are listening to him are not people who are going to support Biden. So who's coming to Tucker Carlson to watch in historic numbers? That's
People who
crazy.
are sick of what's going on in our country right now.
Which brings me to
Easy.
two more points. This one first. This is Candace Owens right here. We can see here where she said she didn't support George Floyd. It has 92.8 million views.
92.8 mil. Wow.
And this was a big news story. And
That's a
people
lot.
So for all we know,
That's a lot of views.
That's like most voters. So it's a lot of Democrats, a lot of Republicans. But the point is,
Yeah.
the message is out there. It's prominent. And, this George Floyd thing, I'm not saying that has anything to do with Trump. It's just showing that there's a substantial influence from conservative personalities from the right. But this Politico article, and then we got this thread, it's really interesting. Look, I've been saying a lot that I think Trump's actually I'm not saying he's going to lose. I'm saying he's on track right now. With no changes, he will lose. The way things are going, I don't
agree. I'm shaking my head right now. You can't see
There
me,
we
but
go.
I don't agree.
Look at this right here. What does that say? Sharp decline in GOP satisfaction with the way things are going in the country.
Yeah.
The Democrats and independents. So Democrats have been going slightly down for a while, but they barely ever cared. They've always hated it since 2017. Republicans have been kind of happy with even more than half saying they're satisfied.
But what does that statement even mean? Not happy with satisfaction with the way things are going in the country.
It's
It's like,
not-
who's happy with what's going on in the country or even the planet right now?
Of course.
Nobody. I'm
And
not.
This is part of why I'm saying if Trump does nothing, the track he is on right now is loss. I'm not saying he will lose. I'm saying he needs to change things.
Okay.
Which brings me to the point actually being brought up by this article and by another thread. One of the big arguments being that Trump is waiting till after the DNC to pull the trigger on all their big campaign moves.
It makes sense.
He's already got enthusiasm. There's a major enthusiasm gap. People are going out and voting. And before he comes out and tries to do all of the major campaign, advertisements, wait for the Democrats to announce their VP, to announce their policy positions and adopt their policy positions. Then Trump can come out and start, dropping the hammer on a bunch of different issues.
Yep.
But as of right now, things look bad. You got bad polls. You got all this negative press. Yeah. You've got secret insiders saying Trump is talking about quitting. That I don't believe. But this is really interesting right here. Politico said just a couple of weeks ago that they have not fixed the polls from 2016.
Boom.
The polls were wrong in a lot of ways. The national votes were on point, but the national vote isn't relevant. What Trump is going for is the Electoral College.
Yep.
And he won the Electoral College by a huge
25%.
Yeah, but it's a huge margin.
Yeah.
So how is it that he lost the popular vote, but he won such huge numbers? And they make a really good point in this article, but this is all. There's another thread right here from Carlos Azueta that kind of breaks it down. And the point is, these polls, state polls, were not getting white, non-college educated voters.
Yep. They're polling the wrong people.
Well, they kind of, but it's that they can't get those people.
Right.
The New York Times talked about how they're trying and they can't. So they're trying to adjust their margin of error and make some estimations, but they can't do it.
No, they
if
can't.
They can't get in touch with these people.
Especially if they're biased.
Listen, man, during Trump's campaign in 2015 and 16, I went to like 30 plus rallies. And I remember one of the most prominent ones, like in terms of my conversations and understanding. I was in Florida. I think it was Fort Lauderdale. I would say 9 out of 10 people I talked to said they don't vote. And I was like, are you a Republican? No. Democrat? No, I don't know. And I tell you this, man, I'm talking to a bunch of people and they would say like, I'll be like, so, have you always voted Republican? I'm like, I actually don't vote.
Yep.
I'm like, but here you are at a Trump rally. I'm like, oh yeah, Trump's great. And so you had people who didn't even know what they were politically.
Yep.
These are people who probably never voted. And one of the things that happened in 2016 is areas that didn't vote before, that were considered like gray because they didn't vote, all of a sudden turned red. And so we have this thread here. Carlos Azueta basically talks about a lot of these really interesting things, pointing out that Trump is going for the Electoral College and he's turning states that aren't battleground states into battleground states.
Yep.
By targeting large groups of people who are disenfranchised.
Well, you know who I voted in 2016?
Was you in 2016? You voted in 2016?
I didn't.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's my point.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Yep.
Right. So, and now I know who I'm voting for, and it's like
activation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's I have become activated and more just active. Like I just am paying attention now, and I'm like, okay, now I understand the political realm to an extent. I feel like I still don't know enough. I don't think I ever will know enough because there's just so much to know.
Democrats want Trump to win.
Right.
So?
Democrats.
I was making a joke about it earlier,
yeah.
but I kind of was serious though a little bit.
So
make it easy for the next run, 2024.
Let me tell you guys a story. Eh?
Oh boy.
Oh goodness.
So I'm sitting here in my apartment, right?
There's
In
your
my
New
house.
Jersey.
And I'm like, we got to do a new show.
Yeah.
So I call up my boy and I say to my boy, I'm like, hey Adam, why don't you come out here and do this show with me, huh? And I'm like, yo.
I didn't know who it was at
Is
first.
that
I
what
was
it was
like,
like?
I'm like, who is
Who is
this?
this?
I look at
Tim.
it. I'm like,
Tim.
it says Tim here, but who is this?
Why do you have a really awful fake New Jersey sounding accent?
Yeah. Do you live in Jersey now? No.
Oh my
I'm
gosh,
good.
no,
I'm
I'm
good.
good. I
Hang
can't
on.
work with you.
Haven't you seen the South Park episode where Jersey takes over the whole country?
Oh no.
Yeah.
Jinx.
That episode was
Lydia and
awesome.
I feel the
Awful.
same way about that.
No,
They're like-
please.
No.
They're like South Park is
that's
becoming
funny.
South Jersey.
Oh, no.
South Dakota is now South Jersey.
Oh, no.
Anyway, so I call up Adam, and I'm like, hey, do you want to do a podcast with me? Because I do my show every morning. It's like an hour and a half or whatever. I want to do a nightly 2-hour podcast. Need somebody who's like,
But no politics.
no, for real.
Yeah,
This is what
no
he said.
politics.
Yeah, it's true.
No politics,
This is
Adam.
the selling
I don't want to
point.
do any politics. We're the only rule: no Democrat, no Republican
Yeah.
conversation. You're not allowed to say those words.
Right.
And I was like, yes, because I don't know anything about politics.
Well, so
here I am. I'm like,
good for
I'm
you.
being like shared around as like the new, slogan for bringing liberals to the right side,
to the Trump
to the
train.
Trump train.
Well, so the general idea. Well, hold on. This is important. The general idea was like, So I do politics all day, and I was like, there's so much more that we could talk about in cultural issues and stuff and movies. And we can do a 2-hour-long podcast. We can talk about the universe and aliens and just like fun, important stuff. So we did movie reviews.
We did a couple.
Then the apocalypse happened, right?
Yeah, this year's
No, it's not the apocalypse. Come on.
I'm just joking.
COVID.
But here's why this is important. Because we were talking a couple days ago when they came for Dungeons and Dragons, and Magic the Gathering art got banned and cards got banned. Then they started saying certain like fantasy races were racist or whatever.
Stupidest thing.
And you were talking about how like you normally like you didn't know a whole lot about what was going on.
Right.
And I was like, it wouldn't have mattered if I asked you to come out or not, because you'd be sitting at your house with your friends playing Magic, looking at your phones confused why they banned a bunch of cards for being racist.
Probably not even that. Probably not even that, because I didn't go out and look. I wasn't paying attention. I didn't care to even find out.
But somebody would have been like, yo, D&D is like, the rules are changing and whatever.
My play group wouldn't have cared. They just
You don't think they would have noticed
cards.
any of the changes or the
sure, maybe
you wouldn't have seen the ban lists for cards that like, what is this? And like the statements issued and the card art being removed.
Well, I didn't use any of those cards anyway. Sure, I checked the ban list sometimes when I used to play, but I'm sure there was going to come a point where I was like, I'm going to be forced into this. I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Everyone's being forced into it. And if it wasn't this, it would have been the riots. That's the point I'm making, right?
Right. Well, COVID, everyone's home. No one has jobs. Right. Now people are even scared to go out because of the riots. Like people are like, oh, how dare these people pull guns on them? It's like, yeah, but they're killing people. They're killing each other. Like how would you not be afraid of these people surrounding your car, beating on your car,
shooting into it, in Provo?
Shooting into the car, and you think they're not going to slam on the gas?
Now
like, what?
Check this out.
Ridiculous.
There's murmurs. People are getting worried because apparently Provo is like very heavy Mormon.
Okay.
And in Provo, an SUV was driving down the road. These protests, rioters, extremists, whatever you want to call them, were randomly running about. So this vehicle doesn't know there's a protest or whatever you want to call it, a riot, and it tries turning away when some dude runs up with a gun and fires, literally shot the driver.
Wow.
Police confirm the driver got shot and then hit the gas, even slowed down, trying not to run people over, and rushed to the hospital.
Must be the Mormon influence.
So the concern is like, the Mormon community is a community.
Yeah.
And you just shot somebody. And if that turned out to be, there's going to be a bunch of people who are going to like, they're going to start gearing up and locking down and like.
Those people are ready.
What have I been saying for over a month now?
When they
started, and I was like, man, they're going to hit somebody that it's going to be the final straw, and the militias are going to rise up.
So
what you just said, exactly.
I bring this up because in your case where you're like the liberal who's like, started using logic or whatever they wanted to say about you.
Right.
It's that when you didn't come to the fight came to you.
Feels like
it. Whether or not you were going to be reading the news on Magic the Gathering, it was creeping towards you like an evil ooze reaching out trying to grab you.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, regular people are finding themselves confused. What is this riot? Boom. Right. Why was I shot?
Why? Exactly.
Shot, rushed to the hospital with a bullet wound because these lunatics are out there. A lot of these people are not political. And if you want to talk about people who don't vote all of a sudden voting and the polls being wrong, this is how it happens.
Exactly.
I'll tell you what. Look, these people in South Philly, where they came to tear down the Christopher Columbus statue. First thing that happens, a bunch of dudes come out. They got baseball bats, they got guns, and they're pushing these far lefty guys around. I'm not happy about that, by the way. Like I've expressed this. Like they attacked a leftist journalist guy. Let them film, let them do their thing, but they roughed him up because they don't care. You're in my neighborhood. We don't care. These guys are in all likelihood probably voting Democrat because Philadelphia is 82% Democrat. So 8 out of 10 of them maybe voting Democrat, maybe not. These guys now are probably, in my opinion, not political. They're just dudes who go to work, don't pay attention to this stuff. They want to go home. They want to watch a game with their buddies, have a beer at the local pub. And now they hear a bunch of crazy extremists are acting a fool and want to tear down their statue. And they're like, what? Nah. Guess what? The city is going to remove the statue anyway.
Really?
Yep. They said the outbreaks of violence are too much. We're taking the statue down.
Wow.
Now I can imagine these guys are like, what?
Right.
Are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm.
And now they're looking at the news. The game's not on. They're getting angry. They're getting agitated. The fight came to them.
Well,
and
do they
would
realize
vote
it's the
Biden?
Democrats that are taking down the statues?
Yeah,
Do you
Philadelphia is
realize
the
that?
Democrats.
Well, I'm speaking
Yeah.
to them right now.
They
I'm
have
talking
to
to
know.
you, the people who vote Democrat, that are allowing these statues to be pulled down legally through their means to take them all down. It's like, that's destroying history. When you just
look,
you know a lot of Jewish people, Auschwitz is still standing. You know that?
Yep.
You know why
yeah.
it's still standing? Because the Jews don't want it to be forgotten. We don't want to forget
but
that
there's-
what
there's-
happened
But
there.
there's a big difference.
Oh, is there?
There is, absolutely.
You know what? You're right. You're right. But it's the beginning. But it's still destroying the history of how we got to where we are. That's the point I'm making.
The problem with the Confederate statues is that they were put up in to praise these individuals.
Okay.
Auschwitz is a symbol of the horrific, acts and
Yeah.
atrocities.
That's true.
So that's why I'm in favor of having a vote. If the vote passes, we take the statues down, we put them in a museum, we put up a plaque instead.
Be democratic.
But it's got to be done through the democratic process because no one has the right to come into someone else's neighborhood and destroy everything.
Agreed.
So I can respect their position, I can agree with their position, and I can completely disagree with their use of violence and authoritarianism to get what they want. That's the problem. Now, come on. Taking down Christopher Columbus is a step too far. Taking down abolitionists and desecrating George
Missionaries,
Washington
yeah.
is insane.
Agreed.
Now they're going after the 4th of July.
They don't even know what they're fighting for anymore.
So I'll wrap.
Seriously, what are you fighting for?
They just want to burn it all down.
That's
they
it.
want to destroy
They
this
just
country.
want to burn it all down to the ground.
And I think it's funny to bring this up because it's supposed to be a trope of the conservative commentator saying liberals hate America, right?
Yep.
But these people literally do. They just desecrated George Washington.
Yep.
And like I mentioned, they're coming for the 4th of July. So let me wrap this up, and I really want to talk about the 4th of July
Yeah, me too.
because this is this is what's going to scare me.
I agree with you.
So the general idea is, I think that when you look at these polls, they're not fixed. They're not tracking new voters. They're talking with likely voters,
Yep.
and they're talking with people who aren't registered. They're trying to figure it out, but they're not seeing the everyman, or as they say, the silent majority.
Yep.
So perhaps all of this is shocking people to their core, and they're going to go very, very angrily to that voting booth and just bam, right there, Donald Trump. But the reason why I can't tell you definitively is because right here on the table right now, you can't see it, is an official mail-in ballot for someone who
Yep.
does not live in this house.
Yep.
And we didn't request it. No, I don't know. I'm pretty sure nobody did. The person hasn't lived here in a very long time. I know who it is. And none of us got these ballots. So I think the system is completely insecure if they do it this way.
I agree.
Yeah, that's not confidence building.
Well, let's do this. Let me see if I can pull up this. Let's talk about what I'll tell you what really scares me, man.
What, not being able to say I'm proud to be an American anymore?
It's not about that.
It feels like it.
I mean, right now, yeah. What did you post? You posted something about Trump and then someone called you a Nazi?
I straight up said I'm proud to be an American.
That's right.
Tweet.
Yeah.
That's it.
Send tweet.
Nazi.
Oh my
It's like, are you
gosh.
kidding me? Because I'm proud of where I live, because I'm proud of my country, because we went from having slavery to getting rid of it.
Well, hold on. Slavery was a global institution. It still is.
That's a great point, Tim.
And
not only did we beat it, we're in the forefront of showing how to change things.
And we weren't the first.
Okay.
And we're
We're
not going to
the
be the
second?
last. No, I think we're actually way behind most countries.
Really? I thought we
So-
were second to England.
The UK abolished it 1st.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, we abolished it through a war. That we won. Actually, the Union won. We're
Yep.
the Union. We're the good guys.
Yep.
The bad guys lost.
Yes.
And in other parts of the world, it still exists.
Right.
That's true.
But here's the point I'm bringing up. Yes, you can't even say you're proud to be American. Right now, Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti bans 4th of July fireworks displays, prohibits gatherings with people you don't live with, puts hard pause on movie theater reopenings. Now, there was
Oh
a
my
question
God,
about,
it's
is he
ridiculous.
banning fireworks because of the potential for fires?
That's what I thought.
But it sounds like what they're saying is don't go out and gather with people because of COVID. This period will be our second big test. It is now time for a pause. We simply cannot risk people's lives.
It's ridiculous.
He then announced, along with beach closures, 4th of July firework displays would be prohibited in the hope of keeping Angelenos from gathering in groups. Boom.
They don't care at all.
What did Muriel Bowser say in D.C.? Stay home on the 4th of July.
Yep.
What did she say a week or so before?
We have
March.
to protest.
She didn't say anything. She was literally marching with the protesters.
Yep, exactly.
So I'll tell you what scares me. It's not that people aren't allowed to be proud to be American anymore. That freaks me out for sure. You know what
Definitely.
really scares me? When you get a regular American who doesn't read the news, doesn't care to read the news, and all they're thinking is, man, this 4th is going to be awesome, man. I haven't seen Jimmy. How long has it been, Jimmy? I haven't seen you in 3 years, man. Mm-hmm. And now Jimmy is coming down, and Rick and Dale and Harry, and we're going to get together, crack some beers, cook up some brats by the lake, go fishing. The kids are going to be there. We're going to have the dogs. It's going to be awesome. Then you got younger people who are like, oh, cool, we're going to go out, we're going to have fireworks. You got older people who are like, yeah, I remember back when we used to have the fireworks celebration down by the river, and now all gone.
Yep.
It's not just about being American. It's about people wanting to be with the ones they love on a special time of year where they get to, it's summer.
Yep.
They get to have burgers with the people they care about. They get to laugh, love, live. And now the mayor and across this country are saying, you cannot have a good time with those you care about, but we will absolutely march in your faces as your businesses rot to the ground and are burned by rioters. We will smile.
We'll shoot at you.
Yep.
Seriously.
The protesters are shooting at people. The people are just going about their day. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, are you driving this way? Boom, we're shooting you now.
And then what's the response from the government?
How dare that person drive
protesters.
through?
Yes, the media.
Peaceful
Mm-hmm.
protesters.
Peaceful protesters.
Yeah.
My favorite thing was the BBC. They said 27 officers injured in mostly peaceful protest.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, that's insane.
So this freaks me out.
The media,
What
man.
will the reaction be of regular Americans who are sick and tired of being stepped on with jackboots?
Yep.
These governors who are enacting unconstitutional orders, the police who violate the Constitution with a smile on their face,
Not all of them.
mostly in bigger cities. Smaller town cops seem to be doing all right.
Yep.
But the bigger cities, they don't care. They're just like, governor said you're not allowed to have a constitution, so you're under arrest.
No constitution
Don't care.
for you.
Don't care. And I'm defensive of the police right now, in as it pertains to defund the police. But look, man, I think one of the reasons they're losing a lot of support is because when the governor said, "Hey, the Constitution is over," the cops were just like, "You got it. Happy to accept that paycheck." Yeah. So yes, right now, check this out. We've got LA saying we cannot risk people's lives. We get stories like this. 3 in 4 say attending 4th of July celebrations is risky, says poll.
My goodness.
This makes me question what we're hearing in the media. Here's my question. Have Americans given up? Have they lost their sense of nation? Do they no longer care about what America is, what it stands for?
There's definitely them out there. There's definitely Americans that have no idea what America actually is.
Yeah.
They're spoiled, entitled, and they're clueless
Comfortable.
and ignorant.
Yeah.
Well, so this is the big question. Is the majority of this country still proud to be an American? Even only a little bit?
I think that is a true statement. This is something that this is the reason I've been saying the things I've been saying over the past few months, because I believe that. I believe the majority are proud to be Americans. There's plenty of people who have just recently come to America, like over the past 20 years, that are like, you have no idea what I went through to even be here, to have the little job that I have, that I get minimum wage. That job is amazing. And I love my rights that I have here, that I had none of it where I came from. And it's like, yes, all it shows to me is these people are ignorant. They have no idea what they really have.
So why are all these governors and mayors banning the 4th of July?
This right here.
Money.
This is why.
Yeah.
Money. Because they're getting paid by something, somewhere, somebody's agenda to undermine America. America is a big thorn in the New World Order, the whole trying to redo the whole globe essentially under a regime. China's probably wants us to kill ourselves.
I think that's a bit too much.
It's
kind of
happening. Yeah, sure. That was a leap, but it's like, but you ask me,
need to deepen your voice.
What is the reason they're doing it? And it's like, why would they? Why would they want to undermine America? Probably because they're getting paid by somebody who doesn't want America to exist anymore.
I think it's simpler than that. I think if they weren't pathetic, spineless little weasels, they'd ban Black Lives Matter protests too.
They won't.
The only reason they're not doing it is because these people went around smashing windows and burning buildings to the ground.
Okay.
And so it's like I said, what we're seeing is morality government. It's morality policing. When they say it's easier just to give the protesters what they want and strip the rights of other people than to deal with the mob. And that's what it is. So they're sitting there, they're looking at a mob throwing Molotov cocktails, and people like us who are just in our home complaining. And they're like, well, these guys obey the law, so I don't got to worry about them. These guys are burning everything down. How can we placate them? Oh, just give them what they want. You got it. And so they do. And that's what's scaring me, because you're going to see the breaking point for regular Americans when they're like, no.
Yeah.
I can't do this.
That's what I've been saying. There's going to be a point where a lot of Americans are like, you know what? Fine. I'm going to go open my gun locker. And now I'm going to go out and actually exercise my rights. Let them try to come on my property.
4th of July.
Everyone's talking about the Seattle couple. Memes are flying off the
St. Louis.
Excuse me, St. Louis. They're flying off the shelves. All the memes. They're amazing memes, by the way.
Saving private property.
Amazing memes. Seriously, the meme factories are running. Woo. They never quit. COVID didn't stop them.
That's right.
But I mean, they were coming onto private property. They walked out to protect themselves. If they didn't have those guns and they were standing there like, get out of here, they would have been attacked. They were on private property. It's like they had every right to stand there. And I'm like, you get on Facebook and I'm like, oh my gosh, like what is this crap I'm seeing? Like everyone's just ridiculing. It's like a cesspool of anti-Trump, anything that goes against the narrative that, I mean,
and that's
but we
why
know
your
about
video
Project Veritas. It's like Facebook is clearly biased, deleting everything that they can get their hands on that is pro-Trump, or not even pro-Trump, anti what they're pushing, you know?
I think it's
scary, yo.
It's, I jokingly say the Democrats want Trump to win, but it really does feel like it.
It feels like they don't even care about Trump. They want America to just burn. That's what it feels like.
The joke I'm making is, how could you fail? Like a broken clock is right twice a day.
Yep.
But Democrats have been wrong literally everything they've done. The only conclusion I can come to is that it's on purpose.
Yeah. You need the Trump bump.
Like, wow, are you really just that bad at what you do? That's impossible. You'd eventually get something right.
You would think.
But they don't.
You're right.
It's like, what has the riots accomplished? And they supported them and then banned the 4th of July. Are you crazy?
Yeah. And then the Democrats' tweet that was deleted about Mount Rushmore.
Ooh.
Like calling.
Now,
did you bring this? Do we have this up? Can we?
I don't know. I don't think I do actually.
Oh man.
But we did talk about it earlier.
We did. But here's what I got to say. I need to issue a correction to Mr. Dan Crenshaw.
Oh yeah?
Yes, a correction. See, Dan tweeted out the image of, for those unfamiliar, he's the Republican congressman from Texas. He tweeted out an image of the tweet and said they were calling Mount Rushmore racist. That is not true.
Ooh.
They were calling the rally he was having racist at Mount Rushmore. And
on July 4th.
The rally was the 4th of July celebrations.
Right.
The point is, they were saying celebrating the 4th of July it glorifies white supremacy, and he was doing it at Mount Rushmore. So they weren't necessarily,
really
I get it.
Better.
They're disparaging Mount Rushmore. No, it's substantially worse.
Yeah, that's awful.
It's one thing if you're like,
it is.
It's one thing if they said, we respect your right to celebrate independence, but doing it here is, offensive to some communities. I'd still cringe at that.
Yeah.
Instead, they were straight up like, this rally Trump is having, which is a 4th of July celebration, glorifies white supremacy.
Whoa.
They think it. They believe it. That's what they think.
They really do.
The mask slipped.
Yes, it
did.
did.
There it is. Beneath the thin veneer of a smiling pro-America social justice activist is a lunatic who wants to burn this country to the ground.
Yep.
Not every single Democrat, obviously.
Of course.
But there are enough of them within this group, and there's no leadership. So Nancy Pelosi, what does she do? She gets on bent knee.
Literally.
And swears fealty to the fringe ideology.
Yep.
And then she can't even stand up, and someone has
wearing
to
a
come
kente cloth.
Yeah, the wrong kente cloth.
Which was worn by slave traders.
Yep.
Yeah.
A very powerful slave trading empire. These people are lunatics.
Yep. It's like they're brazenly showing it off too. Like they don't care. The Democratic Party was the racist party.
How could they have been so wrong?
Who's that former Klansman who was kissing Hillary Clinton, that famous photo?
Oh, Robert Byrd?
Is that his name?
Yeah, it's his name.
He's always been a Democrat, right?
I believe.
That's the funniest thing.
Let me double check that.
So it's like he's a Klan member.
Yeah.
And then apparently he has like a moment of like revelation, and he's still a Democrat. Mm-hmm. And so people show this photo of the guy like with Hillary, and they're laughing and smiling together. And it's like, what makes you think this guy changed when he's still with the same party, it's doing the same thing? And I want to make sure I make it clear. The complaints the activists have about police, about politicians, are all in democratically controlled areas. They're not complaining about Republicans.
Yeah,
You're
Byrd's
absolutely
a Democrat.
Has he always been a Democrat?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. Awkward.
And not only that, like the Republicans are trying to pass police reform laws.
They blocked it.
And who blocked it?
The Democrats.
Yeah, right.
The Democrats.
And they called Tim. They insulted Tim Scott along with it.
Yeah.
Wow, man. I was.
They called him a token.
Yeah.
They called it a token
Yes.
bill or whatever, and he got really offended by that.
It's insane.
And man, dude, that I can't stand these people, man.
Yeah, Rand Paul, he put a bill forward to stop no-knock raids, and it's like, good. That's what we need to stop that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, what is going on? Like, how is this? How are you not? Why are you blocking these things?
I was in Portland.
They're trying to keep it around.
I was in Portland, and there was like a big rally of mostly like right-wing groups. You had Patriot Prayer, you had Proud Boys. It's a very typical thing.
Yeah.
And one of the Proud Boys was a black man.
Okay.
So you know what Antifa started doing?
What?
They started yelling as many racial slurs as they could.
Wow.
And I was standing there, and this dude went off.
Good.
And he's wearing a vest, and he is like, I think he was a veteran, and he's like very much in shape. The police separated the groups, and so all the Proud Boys and Patriot Prayer on one side, all Antifa on the other side, and the Antifa people start yelling hardcore racial slurs.
Wow.
I was like, I couldn't believe what I was hearing, man. I couldn't believe it. And so this dude, one of the Proud Boys, he gets super angry, and he goes to cross the street where the police have separated everybody, and the other guys grabbed him. And I'm looking at these Proud Boys, and they're holding him back, and they're looking him in the eyes and saying, "You are my brother, man. Like, we're here with you. You are one of us. Don't listen to what these people are saying. They're trying to make you angry, so you go over there and fight them." But and they were saying things like, "We're here with you. We're all equal. You're one of us. Ignore what they're saying." And I'm sitting here like, none of these people on the right were saying racial slurs. Not a single one.
All right.
And all these Antifa people, man, it was crazy what they were saying.
Wow.
Because they use
Listen,
emotions. That's their
because
fuel.
they're racists.
Absolutely.
Dude,
Absolutely.
look,
Emotional
you can,
and racist.
You can look this up. There was an ICE protest in, I believe it was Portland, and there was a black cop, and they are yelling crazy racial slurs. They are saying, like, you name the racial slur, they are saying it.
Oh, found it.
You found it.
Yeah, it's from 2018.
I'm not going to repeat what they were saying. So they did say a couple of the hard slurs, but they also used terms associated with, like, I'm not going to say what they are, referencing black people who are servants, essentially.
Okay.
Like,
Who are traitors, right?
no, like, I'm not going to say it, but just trust me. There's like 12, probably 20 different terms, and they're all just talking and saying things, and they're doing a certain kind of accent.
Yeah.
It's like,
Wow.
man, I have seen some stuff from these people.
It's messed up.
Now, look, man, I've encountered my share of backwater white yokel racists. Like, I told the story last week about being in I think I was in Dallas, and I had an Uber driver who was overtly racist.
Right.
And I started getting angry because he was saying he was very, very stupid, and then he shut up. I've also experienced, like, when I briefly lived in Virginia, some serious racism from older generations. But the funny thing about these people is that they know to keep their mouths shut. You know what I mean? Like, they understand what's socially acceptable, and they may be bigots, but they'll stop.
Okay.
So I can tell them straight up, hey, don't talk like that. I'm not interested in hearing that. You can speak like that. You want to speak to somebody else, fine, but don't bring it where I'm at. But you look at Antifa, they claim to be fighting racism, then come out in the streets and scream racial slurs at people.
Yeah.
That's a joke.
How do you square that?
Look at the video of that we talked about this 18-year-old girl getting arrested by and she's crying and she's hyperventilating, and they're like, she needs her dialysis, which is ridiculous.
Give me a
But they start yelling racial slurs, and the black cop walks up.
It's messed up.
You see it happen. Look, man.
It's like, aren't they out for Black Lives Matter? That's right?
Yeah, you see that video Trump
Right.
tweeted out where the guy in the golf cart, raises his fist and yells something pretty dumb. I'm not going to repeat it.
And horrible.
And it seemed like he was trying to be ironic.
Right.
But I'm not.
Smart.
But it was a moronic thing.
Yeah, he
to
was
do, no
like,
matter what.
yeah, whatever.
And it was stupid.
Yeah. It's
And the
true.
media went nuts. The media was like,
Pearl clutching ensued.
bro. You know how many videos I can find right now of leftists screaming racial slurs, and they never bring it up in the news?
Or how about Joe Biden? His racial slurs that he's said over the years. Like, I've seen some stuff about what he's saying. It's like, that dude's racist.
Yeah, man.
Clearly.
To be fair,
And not only is he racist, his family had slaves.
Literally.
Why
owned
aren't they
slaves.
freaking out and tearing down his?
I don't
to
know.
be fair though,
Legacy,
to be
I
fair,
don't know. He doesn't have a statue.
a lot of the actual progressives call him out for these things.
Okay.
It's the establishment that won't do it.
Yeah.
So you'll find them actually saying things like, "Why would I support Biden? Biden's racist," right? Mm-hmm. Which brings me to an interesting thought I had. So I was talking. I've been bouncing these ideas around with a couple people. I know in the political world, and I was like, "What do you think would happen? Like, do you think what do you think the possibility is that Trump only gets 40% of the popular vote, but still wins because progressive Democrats don't vote for Biden and vote for a third party?"
Yep.
So let's say Trump barely gets enough electoral votes to win, barely. And his in the popular vote, 40%. So everyone's outraged. But Joe Biden only gets 36.
Right.
And then some third party gets,
Joe Jorgensen.
gets 14 or whatever, gets the remaining.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not. Maybe Bernie Sanders, write-ins. And I'm thinking this because
he's still on the ballot, right? I think he is.
No, I don't know about that.
I thought he was.
But on the primary ballots.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, okay.
But the reason I was thinking about this is that when Trump issued this press release showing Joe Biden's enthusiasm, in Alaska, he got 55% of the Democratic primary vote, and he's the only one running.
What?
Wow.
55, because other people were still on, and so
right.
people were like, I don't care if they quit. I'm going to vote for him anyway.
Right.
So all
Joe.
you need is 10% of the Democratic base to be like, we want Bernie, and we're voting for Bernie no matter what.
Yeah.
And then Biden Trump doesn't get the majority. Think about the insanity that would ensue if Trump got imagine this. Trump gets 35% of the popular vote.
Okay.
But Biden and Bernie split it evenly and come under at like 30% each.
Oh, man.
And then you got third parties sprinkled in and everywhere else. People would lose their minds. It would be absolutely nuts. I wonder what the possibility that maybe it's true that Trump's base right now is only 35%.
I don't even believe
but
that.
it's the plurality of voters.
Yeah.
So like it's not so much about who gets the most, who gets the majority. It's about who gets the most. So if you have too many candidates who are in the race, Trump could win with a small minority, unless of course he doesn't get 270 electoral votes. Then everything just becomes chaos. That's another potential for civil war. Nobody gets 270, and then it's just everybody's freaking out and screaming at each other.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. You know what, man? I'll tell you what. It's going to be the most exciting November of my life. It's going to be fun. We got to order a bunch of pizzas.
Probably
we
the
got
same.
Like a big old
Same for me. I'm going to be sitting here with you.
Yeah,
we're probably going to be talking
it's
about
gonna
it.
be so
we're
fun.
we're gonna be hopefully in the in somewhere new
in a new area.
In a new area
We'll
with
still
new
be
projects and new.
in Tim's proximity, I hope.
Yeah.
That'll be nice.
Well, we'll be in a similar space, and we'll see what happens in November. But now let's do this. Let's move on to the absolute psychosis that is our modern world.
Awesome.
Ladies and gentlemen,
This.
I would like to bring you to the broken simulation,
Cool.
Earth 2020,
Yes.
where the words you speak, literally the definitions, can alter the course of a virus. Whoa. Let me explain something to all of you good
Future's
people
cool.
watching. Listen, we have recently learned that if you go out into the streets with thousands of people linking arms and you say these words, no lockdown, all of a sudden, the virus erupts from the streets, spraying out of sewer pipes, and it's hitting everybody, and they're falling over, screeching and gasping for air. But there's one cure. You need only do literally the exact same thing, go out with thousands of people, link arms, and say, Black Lives Matter. And then the virus dissipates and squeals in horror, and you dance and cheer, and the sun comes
And no
out,
one gets
and the world has become a better place.
Oh my gosh.
Experts say.
You
Yeah.
may
It's an expert study.
you may think I'm joking.
I thought you were joking when you first told me.
I'm
I gotta
not
be
joking.
honest.
Yeah.
The first thing that I'd like to show you is this story from The Guardian.
Oh, hello.
Now, this is just one of many stories I've decided to pull up. U.S. lockdown protests may have spread virus widely, cell phone data suggests. Devices associated with protests traveled up to hundreds of miles after rallies where few precautions were taken. Now, how many stories did we see just like this? In fact, there were many saying that the lockdown protesters are killing grandma, for instance.
Yeah.
Well, it's okay because now we've learned that Black Lives Matter protests, meaning quite literally the subject matter, may have slowed the overall spread of coronavirus in Denver and other cities, a new study finds. There it is, everybody. Quite literally, the subject matter of your protest will alter the course of a virus. We've done it. We've found
fixed it.
magic words.
Yes.
It's true. It's magic.
I always knew the human race had such potential.
Yes.
amazing.
See,
Yeah.
see, here's the thing. Who would have thought that while we've looked for the ancient texts of spells that would grant us power over physical reality. You needed only to have 2 different protests and start saying different things until you finally figured it out. Soon enough, we realized that your political ideology can influence whether or not a plague will kill you.
Isn't that cool?
Wow.
Tim sent me that, and I said miraculous.
It's
a miracle.
It's pure magic.
Do you remember that study that was going around about writing the words on water on the side of a water cup?
Yep.
Hate, love, whatever. And
New
they were
age,
like,
hippy-dippy
they were
stuff.
like, look at the water crystals, how they change.
Yeah.
And it's like, it was actually not really proven. I was like, well,
It's just-
I want to actually look into it, and there was no actual
Of course.
study. I was like,
Yeah,
oh, that's
You
sad.
can't will your emotional energy into water. Just like, no, this is fake news. Look at this article. It's very obvious what they're doing. The whole thing's been political. There are people who are very stupid, unfortunately, who think this will work and unfortunately are correct when it pertains to some people. While the protests brought thousands of people together, they likely caused many more to stay home. A research team, including a University of Colorado Denver professor, concluded.
I'm so
You mean to tell me,
embarrassed.
hold on, wait, so here's the logic. The logic is this. The logic is that as thousands of people who normally would be locked down decided to go outside, there's more people not outside, there's more people inside.
I'm so confused.
The math is
He teaches?
it's
What does he teach again?
He didn't do good in math.
I guess he
I don't
doesn't
think he did.
teach
it doesn't
math.
it doesn't
well in
matter.
math
They're
class.
lying. They're lying.
course
It's
they're lying.
obvious they're lying.
Yeah, it's
You
bad.
can't run
It's
your
getting bad.
business, but we can burn your business down.
Yeah, we can.
You can't go get a haircut, but we can go out and scream and pull people's hair.
Scalp people.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
scalp people.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to run your business, but hey, we're going to gather by the tens of thousands and chant and scream.
Yep.
And then just when everyone's like, hey, I kind of have a problem with you saying I can't do this, they go, well, actually,
You're spreading
the-
COVID more.
The science says that Black Lives Matter saves
Are
lives.
you a science denier?
I imagine it's like this study actually, as it came out, wasn't research and like well thought out. It was a guy who's like sitting in a room and he's like, the protests actually slow the virus by keeping people inside because more people went outside.
No, maybe they were doing the Joe Biden tweet, and it just like,
Generator.
and they were like, oh, you know what? That's legit.
Oh,
Let's
that sounds
post
good.
it.
Yeah.
It's in Colorado. You know what the issue was? It was 100% in Colorado. You know what they were doing?
What?
Little puff and pass. I'm
Is
pretty
that what it
sure.
was?
Yep.
Little puff and
Yep.
pass?
I think so. I
So-
think that's
so-
what was
so-
happening.
Is that what they call it?
That's what
Here's
they
the
call
wait.
it.
Here's the meme. Here's the meme.
What?
You go on. You type in.
Oh,
Here's
yeah.
the deal, and then you keep pressing
yeah.
autofill predictive text, and then you fill up a tweet, and that's a Joe Biden speech. So here's what they did. They were like, we're going to do a study, and they just kept mashing it, and it's like,
Yep.
so they typed in Black Lives Matter protest may have, and they're like, slowed down the spread of COVID by keeping people inside while they went outside, and they were like, send. And you're like,
Send
have you
tweet.
stopped to think about the logic of what you've just said?
No, they
Thousands
don't.
of people
Predictive
went
text.
outside, and that means more
Whoa,
people are
whoa.
inside.
Sorry, logic and the left. Those two L's don't get along well.
Those two L's.
He's
It's
a
like- it's like-
professor.
it's like-
Yeah.
it's
What
like-
does he teach?
That's what I want to know.
What is
So-
he a professor in?
Seriously. Let me
Well,
look it up.
so look. To be fair, the first story I pulled up says it may have. And this was
Oh.
saying, actually, so here's the deal. What they've basically said is we are now able to go and protest for whatever we want.
Basically,
That's it.
unless you're protesting
Stuff we don't
the
like.
lockdown.
But there is, hold on. I do have another fair assessment as to what they're really trying to say. We need only change one word in this article to make it actually make sense. Shall I change the word for you and reread the headline?
Yeah.
Please do.
Pull the story again.
There we go.
Let me read you the headline first. Black Lives Matter protests may have slowed overall spread of coronavirus in Denver and other cities, new study finds. While the protests brought thousands of people together, they likely caused many more to stay home. A research team including blah, blah, blah. Now I'm going to change one word,
Okay.
and the whole thing will make
I'm
sense.
tracking.
Okay.
Black Lives Matter riots may have slowed overall spread of coronavirus. While the riots brought thousands of people together, they likely caused many more to stay home.
I would say inside.
Way
the
more
riot, the
accurate.
riot.
Now
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
Because now you actually do have people who might normally go out for a walk
Yep.
hiding in their homes as
Mm-hmm.
their cities are ransacked and destroyed.
kind of makes sense.
That's a good point, Tim.
Absolute
Yep.
terrorism. Terror.
So using their language, riots don't exist.
Right.
My favorite is MSNBC, where the host is like, now, these protests have been very peaceful while the police department is on fire and burning behind him. It's all peaceful. Don't mind the fire behind the Emerald Curtain.
Everything's fine.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we get, man.
Mm-hmm.
What's scary to me is when I was arguing with this dude I know from back in my neighborhood, and it was about the Trump Russia bounty story. Do you know the story?
Oh yeah, I do.
That Putin, offered a bounty to Afghan militants to kill American soldiers, and it's the stupidest story I've ever heard. And it's just like,
it's so bad.
The reason it's dumb, and there's a bunch of national security reporters who brought this up right away, which made me laugh, is they were like, the Afghan militants are low cost, ill-equipped insurgents for the most part, who need no reason to kill American soldiers.
Right.
None whatsoever. They've been doing it for decades now.
Right.
Offering them a bounty per soldier is rather meaningless. But more importantly, the intelligence community is divided on it. Apparently, the NSA is saying we have no evidence to support this. Trump denied it. Pence denied it. Other administration officials denied it. The New York Times has, I guess, like a single unnamed source.
Yep, that's the thing that keeps getting me. I have even people I know are like hitting me up. Well, how can you explain this? And I was like, you explain it to me then. Because
what's the proof?
Where's the proof? I read the article you just sent me. There's no proof. They're like, well, the UK said it. And it's like, okay, well, that's the UK. They reference the US, but there's no actual proof that has anything to do with it. They're just alluding. They're like, well, see, this makes sense. And it's like, no, it doesn't. I want some actual tangible proof. Where's your proof?
It's not even about whether you support Trump or don't. It's that, why am I arguing with someone who's proven nothing?
Yes.
So it's like, you come to me with a story. I say, wow, that might be true. Can you prove it? No.
Well, then have a nice day.
No, yeah, and not only that, they're like, I can't believe you can still support Trump. And I was like, I just asked you for some proof on this.
Yeah, calm down.
I didn't even say Trump. I'm not even. We're not even talking about that right now. I just want to know if it is true. I want to know so I can report on it. Tell me that it's true. I want to find out if it's true or not.
Right.
This is the big challenge.
It's not true.
It's
ridiculous.
I'm going to take my humble knob from a good 7 down to a 0 right now.
Oh, nice.
Whoa.
I'm the founding member of the fastest growing news organization in history, and I I used to give guest lectures to PhD journalism programs, and I've guest lectured several journalism programs and spoken at many universities about journalism, and I've been flown out to some of these very high profile events and been offered jobs with some of the biggest news organizations in the world. And even then, I will not pretend to know for a fact what really happened. So why is some dude who drives trucks for a living telling me I'm wrong because he saw a meme from a reply guy claiming Trump is selling American soldiers to Putin?
Exactly. That meme is so bad.
I responded with, I'm arguing with this dude, and I'm like, hey, here's what I think. And then their response is like, you're so dumb. Like, obviously, we know this is true. The New York Times said it. And I'm like, one unnamed source does not a confirmation make. I mean, it used to be you needed 3 sources to confirm this.
Right.
They got one person saying, hey, we did this, and all of these denials. And then I finally ended with like, you know what, bro, I'm sick of this. I'm not going to go to a doctor and say, well, I don't care what you think about vaccines. I'm going to go to them and say, yeah, you're the doctor. I'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
I'm not a doctor. I didn't go to medical school. I'm not going to pretend like I will know. It's like what Bill Burr said to Rogan when he was like, he's like, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to sit here with no medical degree, listen to you sit there with no medical degree, talk about whether we should be wearing masks.
That's fair.
And I'm like, excellent.
Yes.
Now, that being said, if I was to come to you and say, I know for a fact what really happened, then by all means, challenge me. Mm-hmm. But if I go to you and say, as a journalist and political commentator and cultural commentator, I have not seen hard definitive proof. And to be honest, the track record for these stories is like a serious net negative.
Yeah.
Like the Intercept has put out this very fun story I love, the top 20 stories on Russiagate that failed.
Oh, man.
So I'm sorry, the burden of proof is on the New York Times. You can't just say, we talked to one person who thinks it happened. You need to prove it.
Yeah, exactly.
And then don't come and argue with me that you know how the news actually works when you've done no research on this. And I swear to God, the source was a reply guy, was one of those people who responds to Trump, just makes things up.
Exactly.
And I'm like, your source of news is memes, dude.
Yeah, memes.
It's Occupy Democrats.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to turn
Turn the humility back up.
Yeah, turn it back to 7.
Humility?
So
humility.
humble
button.
Humble bar.
So
turn it back to 11.
Yes.
There's a report that comes out every year called, it's a News Whips, engagement tracker or whatever.
Okay.
The funny thing is, I think this is 2018 now, so I need to update my information on this one. But the number one source of engagements for conservative news, can you guess which outlet conservatives flock to in large, like the biggest numbers?
I mean, based on what we talked about earlier, I'm gonna guess Fox.
Boom.
I don't know.
You nailed it.
Is it Fox?
Yeah,
Bingo.
Fox.
You win the grand prize. Fox
What
News.
do I win?
1,000 points.
A UFO spin.
A UFO spin.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh, we should
ding,
do
ding,
that.
ding.
Okay. Ding, 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 ding.
So conservatives, according to this report, Fox News is the number one source of information for conservatives.
Okay.
Now, do you know what the number one source for news for Democrats, for left-leaning individuals was?
I have no idea.
Occupy
Reddit?
Democrats. Occupy
Pretty
Democrats.
much Reddit, yeah.
Occupy Democrats.
Occupy Democrats is a conspiracy theory meme page where they just make fake memes.
So I wasn't wrong.
You were very
per se.
close. Yeah.
Well, it's
Reddit.
worse than Reddit.
Yeah.
Reddit's an aggregator.
Okay.
But yeah, it's Occupy Democrats generated the most engagement among the left.
Dude.
Wow.
So they're getting their information from a picture of Trump going like, yeah, and then it says like, Trump kills babies and children and locks them in cages.
Yeah, that's why when you try to talk logic and like actual, oh well, here's where I'm getting my information. This is what I know about it all. What do you know about it?
Yeah.
It's like that's all you get.
That's what they know.
Like, well, if you don't know what I know, then you just don't know. And then
It's
they
so
walk
weird how
away.
They've gone insane.
Yeah, it's like, where's that logic? Like,
Yeah.
what happened to having a conversation? Like, I was straight up trying to have a conversation with
Yeah.
who I thought was a friend of mine earlier today on Facebook. It devolved into, I don't know you anymore. I can't believe you're such a racist now. And I'm like, what are
Who
you
are you talking to?
Well, like me?
Yeah.
You're talking to me? Like, what are you talking about?
Did you
Like,
tell them that you work for
Are
a
you
minority-owned
serious?
company?
Yes.
I should have led with
Said
that.
Yeah,
Man.
what the heck?
Missed opportunity, you know?
Yeah.
Next time, I'll
I
lead with that.
You know what my
Yeah.
favorite thing about the whiteness definition is?
What?
Their ultimate goal is actually to make everyone white. I'm not kidding.
Interesting.
So there's a few arguments they use.
No wonder they got rid of Aunt Jemima so quick.
Oh yeah. No. They want so here's what they say. They say white. This is a recent article that came out that white isn't actually a real ethnic descriptor.
Okay.
Because say back in 1700s or whatever, Italians weren't considered white.
Right.
Right.
Irish people weren't.
And then in the early
I
1900s,
mean, 100 years ago, it wasn't like that.
well, 100 years ago, Irish people
Right.
weren't white
Or
or whatever.
human.
Right.
And so they're like, that proves that whatever white is just the dominant group. So now they're arguing that Asians are,
The new
in fact,
white?
yes, 100%. That's why that's their justification for discriminating against Asians. And I'll tell you what, man, I had one of the best conversations ever with these lunatics. I was in Seattle.
Okay.
And I was at UW, University of Washington in Seattle. And this guy was a weird guy. We were arguing about something, and then all of a sudden, I think I said something like, you realize like the white supremacist people you're talking about right now are like Asian dudes, like mixed race Asian dudes. And then he immediately jumped to well, we all know that Hitler, the Nazis and the Japanese were allies. And I was like,
What?
Okay.
They weren't.
Well, they were the Axis, right? So
But if they were allies, we would have.
they were allied with each other.
Not necessarily. If they actually worked together, that war might not have happened
It's
the way
true.
it did.
And I
they
think
didn't work together.
Right. They were doing their own separate things.
Right.
And so my point was like, that's basically my point. I'm like, what? I was like,
Wait,
you're
what
arguing
now?
that in 1987, a white dude married a Chinese woman because of World War II?
Yeah. What?
And he was like, bro, he's like, I'm telling you, man, these white supremacists love Asian women. And I'm like, white
Whoa.
supremacists want to mix the race?
Whoa,
What
let
are
me
you
stop
talking
you right there.
about, dude?
That's so funny.
Oh
And then
my
I turned and I got mad. I
gosh.
was like, bro, are you actually arguing against race mixing? Like, are you a white supremacist? And then he was like, no. And I'm like, bro, you're literally pulling out
You sound like a
some kind of weird, anti-Asia. And he's like, no, I don't mean it like that. And I'm like, yeah, you do. I think you do. I
Yeah.
think you just let the mask slip a little too much.
Yeah,
And
dude.
now I see what you're really mad about. This is a white guy. I tell you what, man, these people in the Pacific Northwest screaming racial slurs.
Yep.
I think, I have to question, because we talked about this before, like who really benefits from their policies? Who benefits from removing Aunt Jemima from Aunt Jemima pancakes? The family's angry about it.
I know they are. Exactly.
They don't want it to happen.
I don't either. I see Aunt Jemima. I'm like, that's a sweet
it's very
sweet looking
comforting.
lady.
Yeah. Literally sweet.
They're taking something
But
away. They're taking away the legacy from a black family.
Yep.
How about look at that what's it called? DC Black Tours? Was that the guy?
Yeah, that guy.
DC?
What a
That's his
boss,
name.
man.
He's the guy
Seriously.
defending the Lincoln statue, and these young people are screaming at him. And I'm like, the statue's being defended by an older black man,
Who's
and another guy
straight up really been through it all.
Yeah.
And he talks
Right.
about it on his
Seriously.
Facebook page.
And then he says like, who paid for the statue? who paid for it, and they don't realize it was paid for
by freed slaves.
By freed slaves.
To
They have
whom
no
he's
idea.
related.
And what he said was, what you need to protest is that they turned it around. It's supposed to be facing the White House, I guess.
Really?
And it was like it was changed direction or something like that. I don't know if that's true, but he was saying something like that. And apparently, I watched a video from an older black woman explaining the statue.
Okay.
She was saying something like it's supposed to symbolize this person's chains are being broken and they're realizing what true freedom is. And they're grateful to Lincoln, the great emancipator.
Yeah.
And it was paid for by the freed slaves. So I actually can understand why people look at it and say, our freedom should not be predicated upon the white Americans or whatever.
But it's still history. It's still what actually happened that led us here to have them be free.
But their feelings don't matter.
Feelings.
That's the point.
Feelings.
I can understand how they feel about it. But when you have the older crowd, the elders, and the majority saying straight up, we recognize and we appreciate and we want this statue, you don't get to be the one person with hurt feelings saying, I will burn it all to the ground.
Exactly.
And that's where we're at, man.
It's just people playing with the strings of emotions of these young people. They're just control. It's all control. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nasty people who have it's insane people with insane objectives.
Yep.
The funny thing is, I love that quote from John Lennon. It was something like, they're insane people running the country for insane reasons, and I'm likely to be put away as insane for saying it. Something like that.
Okay.
It's like it's still true to this day.
Yeah.
The Democrats are literally insane. I'm sorry, man.
Feels like it, yeah.
Here's how I feel right now about the whole system. I think Nancy Pelosi is not necessarily insane.
Oh, I do.
Well, no.
I'll say it.
Hear me out. I think figuratively insane in that she's willing to cede all of this ideological territory to truly insane people.
Yeah. Okay.
It would be like you being the mayor, of Gotham City, being like, well, instead of fighting the Joker, let's just let him have his go of it, I guess.
Yeah.
See what happens.
Yeah,
He'll get tired eventually.
Be a summer of love.
Well, it's the young people and their ideas. Oh, crazy! How go at it, Joker? It's like these people have no goals. They're just running around bouncing off the walls.
Oh, it just sounds like bad parenting.
But here's
to
what
me.
I think:
Yeah,
the
it does.
Republicans are nothing. I think they're just I don't even know what they are. There's a small handful of them I can name that I think do good things.
Yep.
And, like I mentioned, Rand Paul, for instance, I think he's
Yeah,
one of the
like
best we got.
6.
Yeah, I mentioned him earlier because he's actually putting bills out that would help fix some of the problems. They're out there protesting, and the
Seriously.
Democrats are stopping him. It's like,
Yep.
But what do the rest of the Republicans do? What do they
I
do?
don't know. Sit
I-
on
like
their
Lindsey
thumbs.
as I
Graham.
said, I'm still learning about politics. I
Yeah.
don't know many Democrats. I don't know many Republicans. I'm
Look,
learning
man.
more and more as we go, and it's like it's really not good. It's not a good look on the Democrats from what I'm learning.
Tucker Carlson, one of the reasons he has the highest ratings ever, he's calling out the Republicans.
Yeah.
He had this really viral segment right now where he's got this I think he's a Republican senator from Indiana
Okay.
who's in favor of police reform and limiting qualified immunity.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Tucker's like, why are you saying that what the cop did in Atlanta was a tragedy? What should he have done? And this Republican can't say anything, and he's like, you are siding with these people. I'm
Yep,
seeing
by not saying stuff.
I'm seeing a lot of Trump supporters say like the Republicans are siding with the looters even a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because they're like, okay, we'll give you a little bit of what you want. Just please don't hurt us.
That's it.
So you've got, in
Give them a
effect,
little bit. They realize that they
It's-
can take whatever they want. Then.
Yep.
it's an avalanche. And the Republicans are certainly, near the top of the slope as everything goes crashing down, and the Democrats are at the bottom, just free falling.
It's bad parenting. It's them giving the crying baby all the attention because the baby's crying. It's like sometimes you have to let the baby finish crying and not pamper them, not coddle them.
And there's still a
That's what
debate
it
about
feels like.
spankings. Apparently, spankings are bad.
Who knew?
I don't know.
didn't
That's what they say. So I'm not going to pretend that like I know how you raise kids, but I'll tell you what. If what all of this far left stuff, it reminds me of I think it was a Futurama episode. I love using Futurama for references.
Yes, you
guys
do.
Probably know this.
Yes, you do.
I could be wrong about it, but it's like it's a woman and she's got her kid. Maybe it's Simpsons, and the kid's like, "Mom, I want this video game or something." And then she's like, "Well, I don't know if you should get it." "Shut up, Mom! Get me the game." And she goes, "Well, okay." And then she buys it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "That's it."
Sounds like Cartman's mom.
The mom is the Democrat and the kid is the progressives. And the kids are like, "Shut up, Pelosi. Give me what I want." She goes, "Okay, I'll just give you what you want." And then she like hands the keys to the castle, just letting it all burn down. And we're sitting there like, "Stop. Just tell them to shut up." Mm-hmm. You know what I love?
Deal with it.
There's that South Park episode where they're giving the kids Ritalin and Adderall or whatever. I think it's Ritalin.
Okay.
And then I think it's South Park, where they're like explaining a non-medicinal way to get kids to act properly.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about, this episode?
I think you referenced this before.
Yeah.
I know
There's
what
like a
it
bunch
is.
of kids and they're like bouncing around all crazy.
Oh, man.
And then he's like, notice how the children won't sit down and pay attention. Now I'll apply the non-medicinal effort, and he whacks the kid. Shut up! And the kid stops. And he's like, see, now the child is focused and paying attention.
Yep, look at
Let's
that.
try it on the next child. And he walks over, and the kid's bouncing. And then he slams the table. Sit down and shut up! And the kid freezes, and he's like, and once again, the treatment works.
Well, I don't know if that's necessarily good parenting.
No,
know
I'm
if that's
kidding.
good.
It's a joke. It's a funny point. But maybe it's because
Somewhere in the middle.
these kids have no one strong to look up to.
Yep.
Like, you know, man.
The alpha male, man.
Like,
the family.
apparently right now, Kellyanne Conway's daughter is going viral because she's ragging on her parents and Trump.
Okay.
And I'm like, you know, that's probably fine. Kids rebel and all that stuff. But what about you have that Michigan GOP guy whose daughter was like going hard against him, saying, "Don't vote for him,
Don't vote
please.
for my
He's
dad."
awful." And I'm
Yeah.
like, how have you raised your kids this way? You know what I
Right,
mean?
exactly.
Like, that's on you, man. You know what? She's right.
No,
when
no,
she
no,
said don't
it's-
vote for him, she's right. I won't.
That's a good point.
Because if she
doesn't
if she
even have
views you that
confidence
way,
in him.
if your daughter doesn't believe in you and you're a dad,
Well, that's
Then-
not how he raised his daughter. It's that he didn't raise his daughter.
well,
You're just gonna let
that's
that
that's
happen.
part of how. Look, no matter what you do, you raise your kids.
Okay.
If you raise them poorly by neglecting them and failing to teach them,
That's how you raise them.
It's you. It's what
you.
your choices
It's
are.
all
Okay.
you, man.
All right. Good point.
So the way I see it is, either he raised her poorly
Mm-hmm.
and she's disrespectful and disobedient and has no respect. You know, okay, fine. Then why would I trust this guy to lead the country? Or he did raise her properly and she's legitimately like, don't vote for the guy.
Either
I'm
way,
like,
you
all
should
right,
listen to her.
hey man, there you go.
Yeah.
That's the kid you raised. I'll take their word for it.
Yep. Good point.
But you know, I guess the crux of the conversation is spoiled kids who think they deserve everything.
Yep.
Romping around, smashing things. And again, to go back to the Joker, it reminds me of The Dark Knight when the Joker says he's like a dog chasing a car.
Mm-hmm.
He wouldn't know what to do if he ever actually caught one.
Right.
And so this is what happens when these people go out. Andrew Cuomo said this. He says, "You've won. What do you want?" And they were like, smash, and they started just romping around it. So Andrew Cuomo actually said to the protesters, he gave a public statement. He said, "You've won. We agree. Now tell us what you want." And they couldn't.
Right.
They just
No
keep
idea.
marching around screaming justice. That's what we want. It's like, what does that mean?
You
Give
don't.
us
They don't
some
know what it means
actionable
because they're
names.
ignorant.
Yeah.
They don't have any idea. They have no clue.
Dude, watching these videos from the Chaz,
It's insane.
it's
a war zone now.
It totally. So according to one witness, they said the Chazastani National Guard fired 300 rounds
It's insane.
at a car. And I don't believe that.
I don't
How many
believe it
times
either,
that
but
would they have to
who knows?
reload to fire
The
300
nonstop for like
rounds?
10 minutes.
They'd be like pop, 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 pop.
Well, sure, from
reloading.
one gun, but when you have 6 or 7 people,
There were
with
3 guys.
Oh, okay, 3 guys.
But even if you had 6 firing 50 rounds, I mean that would be you'd hear it in the videos. That's insane.
From the few videos that I did here, there was a lot of pops.
Yeah, but maybe-
300 rounds does feel a little
yeah.
exaggerated, but,
right?
But
So,
that's again, those are the videos that we've seen. You know,
But dude-
from actual video evidence.
These are kids
It is what it is.
who are playing adult versions of cops and robbers,
Yep.
riots and revolutionaries. I watched one of these videos that went, one of these live streams, and you can see some of these people like 18, 19 years old, dumb looks on their faces, just like totally shocked that a car is covered in blood.
Yep.
And they're just like,
Wow, blood is real. That's real blood.
That's what
At
happens
least-
when
at
you
least
shoot
there's-
someone.
And did you hear? This is my favorite quote. It's like a crime scene.
is that what they said?
Yeah. It's
Yep.
like, wow.
Sure
yes,
is.
it is. That's what happens when you shoot
That
somebody.
would be a crime
You know,
scene.
what's really crazy about the
Ridiculous.
Chaz is that I was watching the live stream for one of these guys.
Okay.
And he explained that there were several shootings the other day. And I'm like, whoa.
Wait, what?
How come we never heard that?
Mm-hmm.
Because people didn't get hit. So he explained that there have been multiple shootings where no one got injured.
Of course.
Because of that, no one reports anything. A gunshot goes off, no one says anything. A gunshot goes off, somebody gets hit, all of a sudden now you've got major international news.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like, yeah, earlier today there was a couple shots fired. Fortunately, nobody was hurt. And then like, a little bit after that, we heard some gunshots at the park. And I'm like, you mean to tell me
What
that there
is
were
happening?
like 3 shootings that day? Yeah, but it doesn't get reported every time a gunshot goes off.
It's crazy.
So people don't know. They only hear that we are only hearing about the shootings where someone actually got hit.
Yeah.
Or dies.
How many times has someone been shot at?
Probably a lot.
For all we know, the first shooting wasn't the actual first shooting. It was the first shooting that was successful.
Yeah.
Gosh.
It's a good
Now,
point.
you hear the dad of the victim is calling for the National Guard to come and plow it all down.
I kind of want them to.
Can you blame him?
Yeah, the city needs to get a hold of it. And the mayor, instead of actually dealing with it, is complaining about the other councilwoman.
Because she's going against her.
Yeah.
It's like, and I don't blame her.
Seriously.
There, a lot of people are saying like, yeah, get her off the council and put her into the mayor's seat. I'm
Yes.
just like, oh yes,
Good.
I know.
Yeah, we need
Good.
something.
Exactly.
This woman, this councilwoman, led a protest at the mayor's house.
Okay.
I don't agree with the reasons, but I'm glad the mayor's getting protested.
Yep. Me too.
She is just, man. The way described is like, imagine if your house, like your dog barfed on your floor, like right when you're about to go to work, and you're like, oh man, I don't have time to clean this up. So you hire a cleaner, right?
Okay.
And they're like, they show up, and you're like, I got to leave for work. Can you clean this up so when I'm back, everything's clean? Like, you got it. And you come back, the barf's still there.
Yeah.
You're like, yo, I thought I hired you specifically to deal with this and to like manage this. And they're like, oh, we're going to talk about it and hopefully it dries and clears up on its own. You're like, why did I hire you if you can't do the job?
Yeah.
And that's the mayor of Seattle.
Oh man.
I bet to her when she was running, she was probably thinking how easy it's going to be.
I think lots of mayors thought that until this year.
Sit back. You don't got to do anything.
Jacob
you just,
Frey.
You got to live in the mayor's
big
mansion.
deal. Yeah,
You
it's fine.
just hand me a mansion. Yeah, this is sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get access to city budgets for planning how you want to plan, doing what you want to do.
Yep.
And then the riots came. And then she was like, what do I do? I don't know. Oh, no. And now there's like multiple shootings. 5 people, I believe, have been hit. There have been other shootings where no one got hit, fortunately. And the city
Kids are getting killed.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Literal
So earlier
kids.
today, they tried clearing it out. And then the protesters just immediately put it back up. Because they're not arresting them.
Yep, exactly.
They're not dealing with the problem. So what can we expect? They're setting it up in New York City now.
Yep.
They're expanding their New York autonomous zone.
Yay.
Now,
Yes.
like DC and other cities have crushed these autonomous zones. Just like
It was satisfying to watch the DC shut down.
the
They
cops
were
just come
like,
in flipping
nope,
tables.
get out of here. I was like, yes,
Dude,
very
even,
nice.
Law and order.
even in Portland, which is super far left.
That's true.
The mayor came in and crushed their autonomous zone.
Mm-hmm.
God, I couldn't imagine being in Seattle. You heard about that $1 billion firm, $1.5 billion management firm is
Moved
dipping
to Phoenix.
out. Moved to Phoenix.
Yep.
I'm hearing other companies are saying the same thing.
I don't blame them.
There was another story I read where they basically said that the economy is being crippled, and obviously with the mismanagement by the government, there's just better opportunities and benefits in other places.
Yep.
So like I think other companies are planning on relocating to Texas and stuff like that,
Yep.
which can be bad for Texans if a bunch of Seattle people move there, and they bring their politics with them. But Seattle, what's going to become? It's going to be Detroit.
Detroit
Are they
2.0, yep.
Yep.
The funny thing, we've already got COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Now we've got COVID wave number 2. Of course, as long as you say Black Lives Matter, the virus goes away.
Yes, you don't have to worry about it.
But what's going to be left of cities at all, with or without autonomous zones?
I don't know. I'm over living in a city. I lived in New York for most of my adult life, and I am so happy I don't live in a city anymore.
I'm just gonna tell everyone what our plan is. I'm just gonna say it straight up.
Do it.
We're getting a space station. It's a giant ring. You may have seen it in the movie Elysium, and it spins
excited.
to create an artificial gravity. I'm kidding. That'd be awesome. Though. We're
No,
getting
go
off
on
the
with it.
planet
Let's
because
go.
the planet is
Blowing
is
up.
doomed.
Yep. Bye, guys.
And it's gonna be a big ring in the sky.
We will still be podcasting.
That
And
is a
we will
pretty cool
still
movie, though,
broadcast.
Elysium.
Yeah, but it was so obvious what
You're
they
right.
did.
No, it's true.
It was like the people on Earth spoke Spanish and the people in Elysium spoke French. Uh-huh. Have you noticed that?
I did see that, yeah.
Yeah, we get it. Let's do one more quick segment before the super chats here.
Okay,
Let's
what's
do
that?
it.
What's this?
Superheroes are racist, bro.
Oh, really? Cool.
We're re-examining how we portray cops on screen. Now it's time to talk about
goodness.
superheroes.
Oh, my Lanta.
goodness.
My friends. I must tell you why I find this article.
Time.com from Time magazine?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to know why I love this article?
Do tell me.
So the argument is superheroes tend to be white people enforcing their vision of justice on an unwilling population.
Oh.
And I was like, and you have a problem with that? The article says yes. I'm like, okay, now do Antifa.
Oh.
And they're like,
Antifa is a
Screeching
group
halt.
Error.
of mostly white people using violence to enforce their vision of justice on an unwilling populace. I think it's funny that they don't realize their view of Antifa is the same as this, and they're criticizing it for the same reason.
Yep.
Welcome to the club. You now understand why we don't like Antifa. Okay.
Is this like
that being-
COVID if you call it something
oh
different?
my gosh.
That being
is
said,
funny.
there is an issue with superheroes being vigilantes.
Yeah.
And quite literally, have you ever seen the Batman movies where he fights cops?
Yep, it's true.
They don't get it. They don't understand that, yes, what they're doing is not acceptable. Well, to be fair, the commissioner is okay with Batman.
Yeah.
You know, but but the point is, like, Spider-Man, Batman, and many superheroes go against the grain, go against the law. But then you have Superman, who very much works within the confines of law and the American way.
Yep.
They use Superman for this. What was Superman's like original motto? Truth, justice, and the American way.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Now they want to complain about that.
Interesting.
But let's read. Let's read what Time has to say
good.
about how he portrays
Goody.
superheroes. And they show this picture of everyone touching Superman. In the past several weeks, as calls to defund the police have gone mainstream, pop culture critics and fans have reconsidered how Hollywood heroizes.
Never heard that before.
Is that a word?
Weird. I don't
Cops.
like it.
Legal procedurals and shoot 'em ups action movies have long presented a skewed perception of the justice system in America. To be fair, we just watched all the Pirates movies recently. Like, we were hanging out on the weekend, and like I played all the Pirates.
Yeah, it was great.
Pirates are really awful things.
Yeah, they are.
They're like murderous rapists.
Yep.
Did I tell you my story about dealing with the land pirates?
No.
In Belgium?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, what happened?
So me and Nisha were driving we were driving around Europe, and we stopped in Belgium, and we were actually warned about this before we left, about land pirates. This is a real thing, mind you.
Land pirates?
Never heard of this.
So what they do is they look for RVs, all right, at like different places, and they gas, because all RVs have like an exhaust spot that has to be, it's legally, you have to have an open
so the
area so the air can flow. So they gas the inside of the RV, put the people to sleep, break into the RV, and steal everything, and then leave.
Oh.
And then you wake up and it's all gone.
So we're cooking dinner. We're night owls, so we're up late, and we were looking out the window, and she's like, I see someone looking at us, and I'm like, what? And I look out, and sure enough, there's a dude like spying on our RV. I'm like, okay. So I kind of like turn the light on, and I'm like, I look at him, I'm like, I see you, and he like, walks away. And I'm like, now we're on high alert, like we're eating dinner, we're looking out the window, like, what's going on? And we see them go to another RV on the other side. It was like an RV spot. And we're like, oh my gosh, that was the old couple that was walking their dog like an hour ago. And they're in the RV right now. And those guys, and then we hear a machine kick over. And I'm like, oh my gosh, they're probably gassing these people.
Man.
So I straight up get out and I walk over, and they are. And I'm like, yo! Sorry if that was loud. But that's what I did. I did, just like a
yo thing.
Yeah, like
what are you
yo.
doing?
And they don't even look. They're just like, whatever, continuing on. I'm like, okay, this is weird. So I go to the nearest store. I'm like, yo, there's some like land pirates, and they're like,
So
English?
Oh.
And I'm like, okay,
El Pirado.
what can I do? So I'm
Belgian.
So I like walk out, and I go and turn on, and we bounce, dude. We are like, we're out of here.
Sucks.
But I think
got two-way in Belgium?
me yelling woke the people up.
Oh, good.
Because as I walked out of the place, they were screaming past me in their car.
Oh, wow.
It was one of those slow-mo moments where I like looked at, I was like, oh my gosh, that's them. And they were like, oh, that's the dude that yelled at us. Keep going. I was like, wow, land pirates are a thing. So yes, pirates are bad. They steal your stuff.
Pirates are very bad.
nice, a nice side
story. Yeah.
is a mini quest.
Fantastic.
Random side
quest.
story.
I love it.
Side quest. So anyway, the point is, they as they're talking about how movies make heroes out of cops. Yeah, they also made heroes out of pirates in that movie.
That's a good
They're
point.
like, he's a pirate and a good man. No, pirates literally, like, you're on a boat.
Those are
It's been
mutually
3
explosive.
months.
Yep.
Your entire life is on the boat. They shoot cannons at you. Your whole world is burning down. You're gonna die.
Scuttle the boat.
Yeah,
they leave you for dead, take all the goods, and leave.
and take the women.
Yeah.
Yep, they take the women.
That's why they don't like pirates. But this movie made all the pirates really fun, great heroes. But they were like anti-heroes, I guess.
Well, those were Disney pirates, so
made kids
Disney can get away with
Could
it.
you imagine like all these kids being like, I want to be a pirate, and they're like, they got
Wow, you two did that
Yeah, I
really
was like,
close.
yeah,
and
'cause I can imagine it.
they've got
It makes sense.
fake eye patches, and they're going like, ha ha, and they're like swinging at each other. And then you have like, there's actual pirates that exist today, and like, have you seen that video from the cargo ship and the pirates attack it?
Oh yeah.
And then they're like shooting at them, like, that's crazy.
Yep.
Some like Somali pirates, I think.
Oh man, they're bad.
Crazy.
So anyway,
Anyway.
the point I'm bringing up is movies make heroes of whatever they want to make heroes out of.
Yep.
Including anti-heroes.
Including bad guys.
Yeah.
That's what I was talking about the other day, about how people are seeing movies and going, that's what real life is like. It
Yep.
must be like that. There must be that kind of person everywhere. That's what everyone's like. They like turn always the antagonist of the movie. That's what everyone that doesn't agree with me is like now.
Yeah.
These people are mentally ill, man.
Like, this proves it to me.
Have you ever watched Law & Order SVU?
A couple episodes.
I think it's a great show.
Good show.
And Elliot Stabler, one of the characters on the show,
Okay.
detective.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think he's a bad guy, but he does have his moments where he's a bad guy.
Oh, okay.
Where he'll like, he like, look, they're dealing with sex crimes and stuff.
Okay.
So there's moments where they catch a pedo and he snaps and like just starts beating the crap out of the guy. And I'm like, I feel you, dude.
It's like, I can't
But
really be upset because you're...
I mean, actually, I love watching it. It's like, yeah, beat him up, get him. Yeah, but
Right.
It's a very human emotion.
one of the issues is that on several occasions he gets the wrong guy,
Oh no.
and so he ends up beating up innocent people in his rage.
Ah.
But he gets in trouble for it.
Ah.
This is what they don't understand about
He's held
this.
accountable.
Yes, they make cops heroes, but in the show they're like, Stabler, you're suspended or whatever. It's like, you can't do that. What's wrong with you, man? There's actually one cop in the show who I think actually goes to jail.
Oh.
Because of a brutality, issue. And I'm like, this is a part of the show.
Yep.
It reminds me of like when all the feminists talk about rape culture stuff. They're like, we have a society that glorifies it. And I was like, where?
You do.
Because quite literally, we have a TV show that's been on for like 20 years dedicated to talking about why this is illegal and a crime and evil, and these people must be in prison.
Yeah.
It's insane to think that our society glorifies this when it actually glorifies a female sergeant named Olivia Benson who leads a team to stop these people, and it's a highly rated show. The show's great. I love it. Take the bad guys down, man. Nobody's supporting this. So when you get Superman, who doesn't go against the government and works with them, I'm sorry, man. You're sure. What would you prefer? Would you want Pirates of the Caribbean, where the bad guys are the good guys who go against the government,
Okay.
or Superman, where the good guy works with the government? Because you get both. So articles like this, in my opinion, it's just, here's what I think happened. There's some woke millennial, sitting in the office at Time HQ in New York, and their boss comes in and says, I'm seeing a lot of stories about these cops being bad in like Hollywood. Can you write something like that? And then the woke person's like, Spider-Man's white. Maybe we could do something with that. Yeah, let me think of something. And then he's like, oh yeah, hey, superheroes are just basically cops, but like, I'll write that up.
Sky cops.
Something they just make up at the last minute because someone's like, hey, I'll make it even worse actually. The editor walks in and says, yo, look, you got to publish something. Just, I don't know, pull something out of a hat. And then he goes, okay. And he goes, let's see, police brutality, wokeness, and Superman. What can I do with that? Ooh, I know. Superheroes are glorified and they're criminals. Let's talk about superhero reform.
It's like Mad Libs.
You know what's interesting though?
Yeah.
I was reading something really interesting about superheroes, and it was saying something like, this might have been Jordan Peterson actually, how early hero archetypes challenged the system.
Okay.
Like, I can't remember which story, but like Hercules, I guess, or whatever, they would fight the gods and challenge the gods and all that stuff. And now today, they uphold the system. The heroes maintain the status quo. And like, when did that switch happen? When did it used to be that the powers that be were the bad guys, and now, the powers that be are supported by the superheroes?
It's interesting.
Very
Yeah.
interesting.
Someone said in chat that the SJWs canceled SVU.
They did?
And
They
I was
did
like,
partly, yeah.
I'm like, what's going on with this? And
Did
it's,
they really?
It's not that I haven't seen that it is canceled, but I guess people are trying to cancel Olivia Benson, the main character.
Why is
Why?
that?
Because she's a cop?
I don't know. It doesn't make
Oh,
sense.
man.
It says the first article that I come up with is "Say Goodbye to Law and Order."
It says it does.
That's wonderful.
Olivia Benson gets lionized as television's good cop that does real world damage.
Dude.
A strong female lead.
It's all burning
Yeah.
down around us, huh?
Can't even have
Not
that.
good enough.
So what happens? Let's say Trump wins. What happens? Like, cops are bad, up is down. The virus is healing Black Lives Matter supporters. I don't even know what's going on
Magic.
anymore.
No.
Magic.
What's going on right now is I'm becoming politically aware. I'm not going to lose that
Right?
Yeah.
next year. This isn't going away. I am here now. I can't go back. I will never go back. I want to know what's going on. What's going on right now is everyone's getting that way. Everyone's looking for themselves. They're like, maybe not everyone, clearly not.
No, but like,
not,
why does
not some people at time.com.
Seriously.
But, but I feel that. I feel like people are seeing it and they're like, you know what, I'm going to be more politically active. I'm going to get into politics. A lot of people have been hitting me up on Twitter saying like, you know what, you've inspired me to get into politics. And I'm like, yes.
So great.
Thank you. We need to, wait, what is the word? Heroize?
Heroize.
Heroize.
Yeah.
We need to heroize politics and take down the corrupt politicians that are really the cause of all this stuff.
Yep. You know what the issue is? For too long, we have been comfortable.
And what have I been saying for months and months, man?
People had no reason to be involved.
Exactly.
And because of this, the people who got elected were manipulators and deceivers and exploiters.
Yep.
And then when things started to get stagnant and bad and scary and freaky, people started to come back actually saying like, I got to fix these things. And so now you've quite literally got a very small group of real people who are like, let's fix it, with giant swamp creatures.
Yep.
Milling about.
Yeah, it's true. It's because there's people out there that want the power. And when you have all of the authority in the hands of the people that just want the power, that's when the issue is, that's where we're at now.
Yep.
All the people that Nancy Pelosi, for example, she wants that power. She wants to be on the king of her castle. Look at her freaking kitchen.
She represents these Democrats who have been in office for decades, who are complaining about the state of the world because Trump has been in office for 3 years.
I know.
They caused it.
It's insane.
They're like, Trump is so bad at this. It's like, but you've been here for 50 years.
Yeah, you're not fixing anything.
Joe, you were actually in the vice presidency for 8 years.
And
right.
you did
What
nothing.
you
didn't fix any of this.
You made it all worse.
He did. He made it worse.
All of the riots, all the complaints about stop and frisk and police brutality started under you, dude. So why would I want to go back to that? I don't know. I don't know if Trump is better, but I know you're certainly not. I was entertaining voting for one of these Democrats until they picked Biden. Yeah. I was like, that's it. I'm done. Not that guy. You're nuts. Absolutely insane.
I was watching those debates next to you, and I was just sitting there like, what am I doing with these? What are these people actually talking about?
They want Trump to win. That's the
it
only way
keeps
to
going
describe
back to it.
I
know. I said it as a joke, but the more we talk about it, the more, I mean,
that's the real conspiracy.
Maybe, I don't know.
Trump's pretending to be the underdog fighting the machine, but he's actually the real emperor.
Yeah.
Ooh.
All right, how about we jump over to Super Chats?
Yes.
Before we do, smash that like button. Smash it! You better smash that like button.
Yes.
We're at 9.8. I want 10K.
Oh, yeah.
We
do
got
it.
34K people.
Smash the like button.
We had 36. I saw that.
That's a lot of people.
I'm good.
But
I'm
also,
good.
We're going to read your Super Chats. We're going to read as many as we can. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Timcast. You can follow at Adam Krigler on Instagram and Twitter as well.
Yep.
And, of course, at Sour Patch Lids, LYDS on Twitter.
You yep.
You can follow us.
And smash that like button.
And
That's
make
right.
sure you absolutely smash the subscribe button.
10K. Thank
that
you.
too.
That was it. It
Yes.
just triggered right
thank
now.
The
you, guys.
subscribe button.
Also important.
The like.
I don't care as much
And the
about it.
notification.
No,
Yeah, I
we
don't
care
care
about
about
And the
that.
notification.
No,
Just
we
the
need
like
all
button.
that.
That's your job. My
So
job
we,
is
we,
to
we
smash
got
it.
the first super chat of the day from Captain Planet. It said, "Smash the like button, my
Yes.
dudes." Hi, Adam Krigler. I'm sorry. If Captain Planet says you got to do it, you got to do it.
Yeah, do it.
Smash the like button.
Captain Planet.
Captain Planet said it.
That's right.
And it's followed up by
Right?
Long Dong John saying, "So for no particular reason, I went and looked up Adam's modeling photos. My God, he looks like the king of the Chads in them. Spin the UFO the other way."
All right, I will. Thank
King
you.
King of the Chads. Not Chaz.
Cole
Chads.
Erdman says, "Thank you guys help keep my sanity. Here's $5. Let's see. Mind of the Museless says, "Harumph me, Appa." All right. Cole Smith says, "What do you think the appropriate response on the right is on the doxing issue going on? Social media platforms are allowing it to happen and it ruins lives most of the time undeservingly." Well, it's
A lot of people just say make it illegal. What do you think? It's like,
or it happens. There you go. So let me ask you.
I mean, it's borderline defamation of character. What's the difference?
What would happen if I took your personal information, put on a sign, and walked around outside with it? Would I get in trouble?
I guess. I don't know.
I don't think so.
No?
I don't think
No.
so.
I mean, who's around in this neighborhood that would care?
The issue of doxing, for the most part, is that people's information is in is in the white pages. You know what I mean? Like, you can go online, type in someone's name. There you go.
Okay.
Got their address. Everything's publicly available. It's always been that way.
Okay.
I think about when I was little, and we had a big old yellow pages, and
I remember
and
those.
the white pages.
Yeah.
And you'd open up the phone book and you look for someone's name, and there's the phone number.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I think their address too, right?
Yeah.
Or just phone number? Was it
Yeah,
address?
maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
And
I think
there
so.
they are.
Yeah.
Just like that. There's the director of People.
Right.
You want to hear a funny story?
But we weren't as connected then, though. Now it's a little bit. We're in a different world now because of the internet.
You want to hear a really,
We're still adjusting to it.
Really immature story?
Definitely do.
So
For
when I was
sure.
like 12,
Let's go.
it was I think it was one of my friends. I can't remember. It's been a long time, but we were hanging out at my house and they were going through the phone book and they found someone named Jack Daniels
Okay.
and they thought it was hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
So they called him. And they were like, the phone rings and we hear a hello. And the guy goes, "Yar, is this Jack Daniels?" And he's like, "Yes, this be Captain Morgan. Prepare to be barded." And the guy started just laughing. He was like, yeah. He's like, "I get it. Very good. Very funny." He's like, "Have a good one." Then he hung up.
Okay.
It's just a really stupid, childish prank call story.
That's good.
I thought it was
I
funny.
love it. That's really funny. You have
That's
clever
good.
friends.
Prepare to be barded. And Light and Worm says, "Do y'all need a drummer?" And Tim, how about a show and tell on your new guns? Would love to see them and be jealous. Love y'all. Thanks for everything. Y'all do a super duper fantastic job. I was advised not to tell anybody what we be packing. And boy, are we packing.
Oh man.
Yeah, apparently the gun store was very, very happy. They
Yeah.
were like, "Thank you very much, good sir." And I was like, "Oh yeah."
We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
But I'm still waiting to hear. Here's the crazy thing. So Crowder,
Yeah, the Crowder gun.
the SIG M400, Steven Crowder is working on getting everything taken care of, and his crew and his friends and stuff. The suppliers don't got anything.
Yep.
They're all out. So I'm waiting.
Yeah,
But I didn't want to wait for
Yeah,
it.
the gun store. He basically said like that gun specifically.
Oh, yeah,
is
he's like, nobody's got it.
very highly sought after.
Yeah.
It's gone, sold out.
He's like he said that there have been people who have come to the store and he's like they will not part with them. No way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, I guess Steven was saying it's the Cadillac of guns. Well, it depends on who you ask, but I can't get them. And I'm like, wow.
That would be a yes.
So
Yeah.
that'll be exciting. I'm looking forward to the.
Yeah. So yeah, when that comes out, I'll make sure a video
Yeah.
is
It'll
done.
be
of
good.
it.
Figure it
It'll
out.
be good.
Yeah.
I'll make it happen.
Professor Roman Dev says, "So Tim, you casting a protest vote against Biden yet? You keep saying you're worried about what would happen if he becomes president, so it sounds like you're on the Trump train." Not necessarily. I'm on the no way Biden train and the leaning towards Trump train. But I got to be honest, I want to see some real definitive actions taken in the next several months before I would consider definitively stating I will vote for Trump. Basically, you've got a lot of dissatisfaction right now. And I tweeted out, like, what's he even doing?
Mm-hmm.
The question is, I'll be honest with my feelings. I think Trump is doing the bare minimum in dealing with the riots and the vandalism. He's only enacting his authority and federal jurisdictions because I believe he knows the riots are good for him politically.
And it's like they're trying to bait him. It's like they want him to do it. They want him to overstep his authority so they can use it. Oh, see,
But-
it's proof. He's an authoritarian.
But should that be the issue? Should Trump just go in and clean things up? This is a moral conundrum. I get it. Because
No, we're the United States. The states run themselves.
Right.
The federal government, that's not their job.
So where I'm at right now is definitely leaning towards Trump,
Mm-hmm.
and it's because he's done certain things, the task force, the DOJ. I do like Bill Barr. I really do. And I love how the media smears him like crazy, and he's the most mild-mannered guy. It's like I see all these articles where they're like, Bill Barr is subverting the rule of law. He's corrupt. And then you watch Bill Barr, and he's just like, we're putting together a task force. We're going to go after these people to the full extent of the law. And I'm like, it's just very boring. He's like not energized. He's criticized Trump a couple times, like, let me do my job. And then the media, the way they treat him is just insane. So I think the bigger issue about Trump is not Trump or Biden. It's about the peripheral governmental issues, the administration,
Yep.
the Supreme Court,
Right.
etc.
Everyone's trying to pin it on Trump, but it's like there is so much that's wrong with the system. And he may have his issues, but it is not his fault. There's so much where the fault lies.
But I'll tell you this right now. I am actually moderately leaning towards satisfied with how the Supreme Court has been making their decisions.
Okay.
I disagree with some of the things they've recently done.
Yeah.
I agree with some of these things they've recently done. But I'll tell you what, man, I wonder if John Roberts is playing the long game. John Roberts, that's his name, right? Did I get it right?
John Roberts. Yeah, John Roberts.
Okay, yeah. So he recently sided with the liberals on several key issues,
Okay.
abortion most notably. And now evangelicals, I guess, are livid. And Trump's going to make it a big campaign issue. And I'm like, did Roberts just help Trump by doing this?
That's some 4D chess if he did.
Right. And so maybe he didn't. But I think about it this way. Conservatives are complaining that the opinions issued by Roberts make little legal sense. And it's all like garbled and mumbo jumbo or whatever.
Okay.
I mean, Democrats are making the same argument about Kavanaugh and the conservative judges. But think about what would happen if the Supreme Court judges gave Trump everything he wanted and gave conservatives everything they wanted, they'd be like, well, we're good. And they'd go to sleep on election day.
Yeah.
So these few rulings come through at the 11th hour. Literally, the election is not even 5 months away at this point.
Right.
And now you've got every single religious right-wing voter screaming at the top of their lungs like, what is the Supreme Court doing? Heaven help us if Joe Biden gets elected.
That's a good point.
And he appoints 2 more, replaces Kennedy and Ginsburg with some liberals.
Yep.
What happens if Trump wins again? And it's very likely, I think it's Kennedy. Is it Kennedy? Man, I'm probably getting my names mixed up.
So Kennedy dissented, and so did Roberts.
No, but Kennedy's older, right?
I believe so. He's one of the ones that.
Yeah. So Ginsburg's definitely, she's reaching her. I mean, it's all due respect. I think she's a very strong woman, with a storied career, but she's getting on and she's sick, and I don't know if she'll make another term.
Yeah.
If Trump gets elected, the Supreme Court goes very, very hard Republican. The issues I have are I don't agree with Republicans on a lot of these issues. The problem is the Democrats on the left have shown themselves completely unwilling to support basic civil liberties.
Yeah.
So now I, as like a moderate liberal who is pro-choice, who actually agrees with some of these decisions, I'm sitting here thinking like, yeah, but what about free speech? What about the Constitution?
Right. Exactly.
Do I have to accept some defeats on conservative issues if it means core civil liberties survive? Probably. In which case, I am definitely leaning towards Trump. But come on, man. Look, let's say in a few months, Trump just spins out of control and just fizzles out or whatever. I don't know. I really have no idea.
I doubt that.
I need to see something. I've seen horrifying things on the part of the Democrats, and I have no interest in them at this point. But if I'm going to support someone, then it's got to be a big, hard push. Because of the horrifying nature that is Joe Biden and the Democrats and the left, I've already said, like, I'm definitely leaning towards Trump. If nothing changes, what?
So I just realized, and I want to set the record straight because I'm pretty sure chat has already noticed this, but Kennedy retired in 2018.
Oh, he's the wrong guy.
Okay, so Kavanaugh replaced Kennedy. Clarence Thomas is considering retirement, and that would be a huge problem for Republicans. Like, huge, because he was one of the dissenting voices in this last decision. Like, he takes his conservatism seriously in the Supreme Court. So that's something that they should be really aware of, like seriously aware of. So
yeah, man.
Just
these are I don't know. These are big issues, man. So I guess I'll, if nothing changes, I'll probably end up voting for Trump.
Word.
But it's not definitive, and I would never make it definitive. I mean, you did, right?
I did, proudly. I
don't know, man.
I regret nothing.
Maybe come November 1st, Trump is horribly burned trying to save a bag of puppies from a burning building, and he risks everything for them. And I'm like, wow, man.
Yeah, people want to re at me instead of trying to actually talk to me logically. It's like give me a reason to vote for anyone else. Give me talk to me.
One good reason.
Talk to me. Yeah. Don't scream at me and tell me you don't know me and I'm racist now because of who I'm voting for. It's like, why don't you have a conversation with me? Tell me why you're voting for someone else, why they're better, why Trump is bad. Talk to me. Because you're not talking to me. You're just running away from me.
How many people do you think there are in the good spirit of America that will do the opposite of what you try and force them to do? Like, you come to them and say, I demand you vote Biden. And they go, oh, yeah, Trump.
Probably a lot.
Dude, I gotta say,
people don't like being told what to do. Yeah. I certainly don't.
Americans do. Really don't.
I'm very American in that sense.
This country is literally founded on you can't tell me what to do.
Yep.
Don't tread on me.
Yep.
Exactly.
Well, here's a big super chat from Grim Pickens. Appreciate you. It says, "Hey Boog Boys, where y'all at? Y'all talk about defending the country from tyrannical forces, but where are you when sections of cities are taken by force, people assaulted, communities destroyed? You claim to stand ready when tyranny rears its head. Well, it's here. Where you at?" As a fairly large super chat, I just wanted to read that out.
No, I think I don't think people should go out and confront these autonomous zones. Not at all.
Yeah, I'm indifferent about it because at the same time, it's like they're trying to undermine what we are, but at the same time, it's like, the government is supporting it. That they voted in. Well, what do people do then? What should people do? Stay in their homes? Like, you're the forerunner of telling people to get up and do something about stuff.
Let's break it all down. First, you should not go out and confront the autonomous zones because that'll lead to rapid, insane escalation, and that's what they are hoping happens.
That's
the left
true.
Wants that.
That's true. They want that.
I think there is a fair point in saying Trump didn't take the bait. The local governments need to deal with this, and if they don't, regular people will start making their demands heard. And so, if this goes on for too long and it comes to the point where the government falls, then it's the duty of, patriots or whatever to defend our Constitution and our laws and law and order.
Okay.
And help support the to an extent, the police and law enforcement. Trump will enact the Insurrection Act, and the federal government will come in. The last thing I think anyone needs is for people to be like, I'm going to go fight. No, we don't want that. Now, as it pertains to statues, if you want to peacefully protest, I think that's a good thing. And I think if you want to, like, that woman who went out, we talked about this. I think she's like a small Jewish woman was yelling at these far lefties.
Yeah,
like she went out there and she expressed herself. The point I'm trying to make when I say defend yourself is that you cannot be the silent majority. You must be the vocal majority. You must just say the words. This is what we will not stand for.
Yep.
Yeah, man, I'm worried that because the vocal majority doesn't stand up, you're gonna get people who say, I better take matters into my own hands. And that's what the left is waiting for. So they can go, help, I'm being repressed.
Yeah,
that's
good point.
It's the bait. It's with Trump.
Yeah, exactly.
As soon as Trump comes in with the tanks, they're going to be like, aha, see, proof.
Yep.
And they're going to show videos. And you know what they're going to do? They're going to show the videos side by side with World War II footage and be like, it's happening all over again.
Yep,
So Trump didn't do it.
Trump
didn't do it.
Yeah, he's
now, to be fair on what I was saying about Trump making definitive actions, I think with the DOJ and the task force, he is. But I think there are questions around, does it matter if he gets reelected? Should he just do what he has to do to fix these things? It is fair to point out the states have a responsibility first and foremost.
They made it very clear when he was like, why are the states not opening up? Like, you guys should open up. And they're like, don't tell us what to do. We're Americans. So we were just talking about.
Right. Yep.
And it's like, okay, fine. I won't tell you what to do. And they're like, well, we're going to burn it all down. What are you going to do about it, huh, Trump? And it's
absolutely
like,
nothing.
I'm going to watch you burn your cities down and feel bad for the people that live there. Like, you're a terrible mayor.
Well, so check it out. Grimm followed up. He said, not a call to violence, but I'm tired of seeing all the posturing. They're out there forcing their ideals on the rest of the country while we sit around and talk about how horrible things are. When is enough enough? Tim, Adam, Lid, love the show. A real light in the dark.
Thank you.
Enough has been enough a long time ago. The issue is that people won't cancel Netflix. People won't cancel Amazon. They won't cancel the New York Times. They won't do it. Man, I'll tell you this.
They don't want to let go of their comfort zone.
The ACLU used to defend free speech. Do you know that?
Yep.
They actually defended the Klan marching through Skokie, Illinois. A big famous moment.
Wow.
So the ACLU fought against Donald Trump's travel moratorium, saying it was unconstitutional. All of a sudden, they found themselves with an influx of new subscribers from the left. They loved the money.
Yeah.
Then they defended Charlottesville. They said they have a right to free speech. And the left freaked out. And they started canceling their subscriptions. So the ACLU panicked because they were losing money and said, we will do anything you say. They dropped to their knees and said, please, please, just give us your money. And now they've bent over, and ACLU is a far left fringe organization that supports discrimination and opposes civil rights.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So if I guess here's the main issue, man. If regular people do not look, I'm not going to name these organizations, but there are groups that sign people up and say, we will send you an email, and then when we decide there's a campaign, we'll send out a mass email. We want you to email these companies. So it'll be like this. Everybody sign up for this list. Then one day you'll get an email from, activist left whatever saying, today we're going to all send an angry complaint to the MyPillow guy because he sponsors Tucker Carlson.
How dare you?
So a better example would be T-Mobile, because I think it was T-Mobile who dropped their Fox ads.
Okay.
So all of a sudden, 10,000 people on an email, let's get an email, saying, everybody, at your earliest convenience, email T-Mobile saying you're upset they're advertising with Tucker Carlson. All of a sudden, T-Mobile gets an influx of thousands of emails saying, I can't believe you would do this. This is gross. And T-Mobile says, well, okay, we're canceling. And it works. Conservatives don't do that.
It's true.
I was doing I'll try to keep this vague, but there was an event I was putting on, and some of the people I was working with were getting brigaded by the far left, demanding that they cancel us and stop working with us. And so I actually had to listen in on one of the phone calls, and this is what the activists do. They send out their big email list saying, here's your talking points. Here's what you need to say. And so quite literally, this guy calls and says, I'm really upset that you're hosting a white supremacist organization. And then this other person was like, where do you live? And the guy goes, well, San Francisco. And they're like, so you're never going to come here. You're not a customer. You'll never be a customer. Why are you calling me? Well, I think it's just wrong that you're doing it. Okay, well, as you're not a customer, I have no obligation to, so I appreciate your concern. Have a nice day.
Good.
But think about how many businesses just panic. What do I do? Oh, God. Conservatives don't do these things. So they sit back and they're comfortable, and they wave little American flags and they cheer for Tucker Carlson, but they're not active. They're not protesting, they're not organizing, and the left knows how to organize. So they win. They always do. And they use young people's zealotry. These young people who think they're smarter and better, who've seen the light, and they're really dumb and naive, but they're bored. So they'll send an email, they'll do a TikTok, and that's what they won't vote, but they will send an email. So conservatives got to learn how to organize, man.
Maybe we should do that. Maybe they should get on it.
Well, other people, you've heard it right there. That's a tactic they use. Look, we got 32,000 people listening right now. Imagine if somebody said, hey, 32,000 people, when we send an email, we want you to email your complaints to this company. Take 5 minutes to do it.
That was a perfect opportunity to smash the like button.
Oh, yeah.
We got 32,000 people right now. What if someone just came up to them and said, smash the like button?
They would do it.
Well, here's a good point.
Sorry, I had to.
No. Here's a good point. We had 36,000 people, only 13,000 likes. But listen, I know.
I'm out of here.
But think about it. How many people are listening but can't even just tap the screen?
They're busy.
And I don't mean to be
Hands are
disrespectful.
wet.
I'm pointing out that, like, no matter what you say, no matter what you ask someone to do, there's a lot of people who'll be like, whatever.
Don't tell me what to do. I'm American.
But think about this. Out of the 36,000 people who tuned in, and we only got around 40% to actually press the button.
That's a lot of likes. I'm very happy. I'm proud.
But
thank you, everybody. You guys are fantastic.
Think about voting. How many people are willing to listen and be like, oh yeah, I hear you. Those are problems.
Yeah.
And then come election day, they're like, a lot
point.
of people.
Very
I'm
hard.
sure. Yeah, you're right.
So here's your first challenge. I'm kidding about liking. I'm not trying to say that.
I am
you
not
need to.
joking. You smash that like button. Smash it.
But listen. It's an issue of people saying, I don't need to do it.
Woosah.
I don't need to do it.
Right.
So
someone else will do it.
Right.
Someone else is obviously smashing the like button.
So here's the issue. If everybody who watched every single time they came in hit the like button, then YouTube would probably start promoting this channel to an insane degree.
Smash that like button.
But that's why we say it.
Smash it.
Look.
Smash it. Smash it. Smash it.
To be completely serious, it does boost your standings.
Well, I appreciate it.
It does.
Yeah.
I'll take this moment to say I appreciate you all for liking.
This is why we've made it a bit where Adam's like, smash it.
Whoa.
It's really fun.
I made it a bit.
That's right.
I
Sure.
took it and I ran with it.
All
It's
right.
mine.
It's all yours.
That's right.
But that's why I also say the notification bell. That's why so many YouTubers say this. So look, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do. The point is, do people really want to? You want to challenge Hulu, right? So Hulu once put out a social justice message, and they got brigaded by conservatives, and they deleted it and apologized.
Wow.
Well, I don't know to what extent they apologized, but they deleted it, and it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Because the conservatives don't normally actually do this. It's rare that they win these culture war battles. And that's why all of these companies came out and started putting out these social justice messages. Because there are organizations.
That's literally all
them.
they do.
They're purposely built to just say, there's an extension on YouTube that's an Antifa extension that all it does is aggregate right-wing channels so that left-wingers can just click a button and it automatically flags for hate speech.
Wow.
Yep. They build these things specifically, and you wonder why people get banned when they do.
Yeah.
Because YouTube is looking at the reports and like, wow, look at all these reports. People on YouTube must not like this stuff.
Yeah.
So here's the funny thing. On YouTube, you can actually report someone for hate speech, but you can't report someone for good speech, right? So think about what happens.
Only negative. Yeah.
All of the people who like the video can't flag it for liking it. They can give it a thumbs up, but then all YouTube thinks is they must like bigotry. Because I found out that I get a ton of false flags on all of my videos.
Okay.
They just try whatever they can.
Anything Right.
It's literally milquetoast fence sitting.
You're really good at it. It's true.
Well, no, I think the issue is that I don't make assertions on my own. I don't say like, here's what I think about this core issue.
Yeah, that's my job.
For the most part. So when I talk about freedom and freedom of speech and stuff,
right.
But when it comes to, there's a lot of contentious issues that I don't overtly give you my thoughts on. I'll give you my thoughts on the culture war nature of it.
Okay.
And so that I guess they find acceptable that I'm talking, I don't know, whatever. But people really do try to get my stuff deleted. There's no way for you to say like, this is a good video, so YouTube only sees the negative, and then when all the negative piles up, they just nuke you.
Yep.
The same thing with Twitter. One of the reasons why so many conservatives get banned, and conservatives, I guess, don't realize this, is that the left brigades their posts. So you'll get an activist account saying, everybody flag this one video for doxing. And then once it gets a certain amount of reports in a certain amount of time, it's automatically banned. And that's why Twitter so often says it was a mistake.
Yep.
Because their system says if we get too many at once, nuke it.
Well, and also you got to think, like, they're probably not working. That's like their jobs is to just be hateful on the internet.
Yeah.
And most conservatives are busy working.
Must be nice.
They're
right?
busy doing their jobs.
Productive things.
Being productive in
Bored
society.
people.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's crazy, though, is that 4chan is a bunch of, bored dudes on the internet.
Okay.
And they've been extremely powerful in their campaigns.
Yeah, they have.
So they have tremendous influence. I think the only issue is that now the left lurks there and then exposes, the far right or whatever every time they do something. So it makes it harder to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if one conservative organization emerged that functioned like some of these leftist activist organizations, and let's say the Daily Wire has some of the most shares on Facebook. It's one of the biggest. Ben Shapiro is one of the biggest. Imagine if he used the Daily Wire mailing list for activism. Everything would bend over backwards for the right in 2 seconds.
Interesting.
Because Coca-Cola is going to get a bunch of emails saying, from polite customers complaining, saying, "Hey, we don't respect this. We don't like what you're doing."
Yeah.
Coca-Cola's going to be like, "Oops."
Like, whoa.
Reminds me of Family Guy. There was the FCC, I guess, Peter Griffin had his own channel.
Okay.
The FCC was like, we got 13 complaints. And as you know, based on Nielsen ratings or whatever, that means 17 billion people are upset.
Yeah,
It's
right.
like the way they
Right.
extrapolate data.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's it. That's what's missing from a lot of conservatives, the willingness to create that organizational structure for activism.
I got another big super chat here from Jacob Scott. He says, guys, if your reasoning for voting for Trump is the lesser of two evils, look at the third parties. JoJo is everything you want in civil liberties. Sure, she doesn't support government's actions in areas some would want, but I'll take that over two crazy old men. Love you guys. Vote JoJo. No, I like some of the things Trump is doing. Like, I didn't understand it at first. I was influenced by certain people around me when I did check on Facebook, which I'm now learning is a cesspool of misinformation. It's like, I mean, I'm hearing what he's saying. I'm seeing what he's doing. It's like, I want manufacturing back here. I want fast fashion, fast products that we buy from China I want to go back to when it was quality stuff that you would fix and you would have one knife for your entire life.
Sharpen it.
And you would sharpen it and you would fix it when it broke. And I want that to apply to every product in life. Like, we got to stop this throwaway culture. And it's like, that's because we buy from China, who just dumps cheap stuff on us. And it's like, I get that. I want that. And Trump is advocating for that. And that's one of the biggest things. It's like, yes, I didn't like his environmental issues, but it turns out we can't manufacture that kind of stuff because over in the countries where they're being manufactured, they have zero environmental issues. They don't care. They're pumping stuff into the air. So for us to manufacture it, it's got to come back a little bit. It's like, okay, you know what? I'll give in a little bit to make this future happen that I see as a good thing for America. I
got two principal reasons for voting for Donald Trump, if it comes to it.
Oh, wow, yeah.
The first is the risk of a Joe Biden presidency.
Okay.
He's out of his mind.
Absolutely agree.
And the Democrats are just feckless and bending the knee to an insane fanaticism. And that worries me, which means, voting third party does, in the way we have a first past the post system, create, it takes away the opportunity to actually stop whatever that is. So that's why I would lean towards Trump, not on a lot of issues. The other reason is Trump is the bull raiding the ivory tower.
Yeah, it's true.
So regardless of anything Trump might do, if in the end all I really get is an orange bull romping around and kicking vases over while the ivory tower elite of the Democrats are fanning themselves going, "Oh, a rumful, there's a bull," and then they chases him out.
Yep.
And then after Trump, we can actually maybe get some real politicians in. Some moderate center right, center left, real debate, professional, but away from the crony establishment, broken politics of the do-nothing era.
Yep.
And maybe that requires the bull to rampage about for a little bit. That's about it.
Here.
That's about it. So it's not about whether, you like his policy or whether I like his policies or not. That's a lot of what it comes down to. So if you add in a couple more big moves that he could make and things he could do at the end of the year, I probably would end up voting for him. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know everything. So we got another super chat here from Bruce. He says this shooting in Provo is going to light everyone up. They're going further south and they're going more rural. Yep. I live half an hour away and work 10 minutes away from Provo and heard what people have said. If these people choose to bite after they're barking, this could end bad.
That's what I've been saying.
Yeah, you go to these more religious community. I mean, look at what happened in St. Louis. That was a closed community.
They're going to piss off the wrong people, and there's going to be a lot of deaths.
I'm thinking about what happens when they piss off some of the gangs in Chicago.
Yep, you're absolutely right.
Because what people got to understand about Chicago is that if these people go into the wrong neighborhood and the cops show up, they're going to be like, "Why are you bringing the cops into our neighborhood?"
Oh, exactly.
Man. And they're going to be like, "Nope, dude. People don't understand what Chicago is like." They don't understand that like a 12-year-old kid will walk up with a gun and just murder you randomly for no reason.
Yeah, they don't call it Chirac for nothing.
Sounds like a great place.
I got stories, man.
Yeah, me too.
The gang, yeah, man.
Sometimes. Yeah, both of us. It's interesting how we both kind of had our run in Chicago.
Yeah,
dude, Chicago is it's a serious place. Man.
Not somewhere I want to go back to.
Yeah, that's what pisses me off. These people, they have no idea how good it is here. They have no clue.
How bad it could be.
Yep. We got a chat here from
how bad it is.
Yeah.
Josh,
in many places.
Josh gives us a big old super chat and he says, "Show us your beautiful hair, Tim. No beanies for an episode. There's a nice anti-facial recognition bill." Interesting.
There's a number. He said.
What do we say? $1 million?
500,000. No. It was 500 grand.
It's gone up.
It's gone way up.
It's officially gone. It's a
$6.25 million.
It was. Whoa, 6.25. Where'd you come with that one?
My head.
100,000 likes.
100,000 likes for a hair reveal.
Yeah.
Yes.
100,000
on a
likes.
live stream.
Yeah. I don't think it's possible.
Yeah.
We can try. We just need to announce it the whole time.
It would mean we would need 100,000.
We should do it. We should try it. We should put signs. 100,000 likes for a hair
You
reveal.
know what
Don't be scared.
That would mean we would probably need 300,000+ live viewers.
Who knows, man?
You think we'll get there?
No.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I do. I'm confident.
All right.
I don't know.
All right. Let's see. Maybe we'll grab a couple more of these super chats.
100,000 likes. You guys heard that. Don't forget it.
Ethnic Coleslaw says, "Give the game Death Stranding a try. The story is close to reality. Social media terrorists and reconnecting the country after a crisis. You're Norman Reedus. Also, have you seen the recent increase in propertarianism posts on Twitter?" I know, but someone mentioned that. I don't know what that is. What is that?
I haven't looked that up.
I don't know, but Death Stranding just looks so boring. It just looks so boring.
Someone said that it was get all the groceries into the house in one go simulator.
That sounds like fun.
That makes it even more boring
totally
sounding.
That's the
point.
point.
I get enough of running around with Assassin's Creed Origins. I can't even do it anymore. It's just getting too monotonous.
So Tracy Nolan says, today the Queen spoke to President Trump by telephone from Windsor Castle ahead of Independence Day in the United States on the 4th of July.
Interesting, yeah.
Mike says, for a good laugh, check out GitHub's virtue signaling. Google it. GitHub is removing, there's words in programming called master and slave.
Whoa.
So they're gone.
Wow, really?
Wow. I think I remember
I think they changed
that.
to parent and child
My
or something.
dad talks about that,
That's so dumb.
A long time ago.
They're getting rid of the word master from a bunch of different industries, whatever.
Master bedroom?
Master carpenter.
Master's degree?
Master degree.
Master's
thing
degree?
You worked for? Yeah.
Yep.
Not
there we
anymore.
go. Welcome to...
See, this is my issue with all these things that they're doing. They're making it all racist. They're taking all these things and making them racist. Yep. They're like, this is racist.
Hold on. Did you see that they got rid of the monkey mascot from some cereal?
What?
Cocoa Puffs?
No.
That's the vampire.
It's like Australia or something, or New Zealand. I don't know.
Cocoa Puffs isn't the vampire. What?
We're not talking about Cocoa Puffs. There's some cereal or whatever in a foreign country where their mascot is a monkey.
Okay.
And they said they were removing it because of its racist connotations.
What?
And so the meme is the white person screaming that monkeys remind them of minority groups.
Wow.
That's racist.
It is.
They are
literally
making it
racist.
racist.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Listen, who benefits the most from saying these things and from moving
That's ridiculous.
cultural icons from products? I'm going to say it right now. They got
the
rid of Uncle Ben.
supremacists.
No, listen. They got rid of Uncle Ben, but we keep Mr. Clean.
I don't get it.
Racists.
Literal
They're
skinheads.
racist.
What the heck?
Racist, yo.
We have Chef Boyardee, but no Uncle Ben?
It's funny, but there is a movement from Italians. They're like, well, then we want Chef Boyardee banned.
You think they're really
It is offended. I mean, they're
Chef
all
Boyardee.
laughing about
Right.
it because it's a joke to them.
Italians
Because they're
people
like,
don't
this is
care.
ridiculous. They're making all these things racist.
Quaker Oats.
Quaker
A
Oats.
leprechaun.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's very
Lucky
much
Charms,
a
man.
stereotype.
Lucky Charms.
I'm offended.
They're not getting rid of
Are you Irish?
I'm like largely Irish, yeah.
Where's
White.
PETA to complain about tricks? Or Honey Nut Cheerios,
Oh,
the bumblebee.
man. Oh man.
Bees are being decimated right now with colony collapse
This
disorder
is
or
so
whatever.
insensitive.
But the only characters they get rid of are minority
Wow.
minority characters.
It's like erasure.
It's crazy, yo.
Yeah, it's creepy, man. It really
Weird.
is. Nate Weber says, right-leaning vet here, but enjoy a moderate left. Keep it up. Also, I kind of, if the goal is Trump, what is this? And they continue the current situations to follow the Cloward Piven strategy to grab at power. Thoughts? I'm not sure I understand what you're trying to ask, unfortunately.
Same. Sorry, I don't know.
Let's see. We read that one. Okay. St. Miles says, Tim, you need to tell people they need to train and practice. My classmate Stan Cook proved that even a 9mm will be effective against an AK-47. Train and practice, safe handling. Don't wait until the boogaloo.
Practice,
Absolutely. That's why I say, like, you got
practice.
to be training. Go to the range, get training, get someone to teach you how to do it.
Definitely.
We saw the couple in St. Louis. Clearly had no idea what they were doing.
They
Would not be particularly effective.
And you know, the thing is you can practice, but being in the environment where you have adrenaline pumping, you know, it's like practice all day long. You have to understand that when it actually happens, you're going to get a shot of adrenaline. And
Yep.
I don't know how to, you're going to have to like figure out a way to know that too, because how do you practice that? You know, you actually went to do some training, but I mean, was your adrenaline pumping that time? Because you knew it wasn't real.
The heat training?
Yeah, the heat training.
Kind of, because it's not the same though.
I know
Like,
you're not getting guns training. It's a little different.
But you don't know what you expect. So you're like, it's like you know you watch movies and they do jump scares.
Yeah.
That's on high alert.
So right, so when you're doing the heat training, you're sitting there waiting for something at any moment. So you are like getting antsy and getting a little anxious.
Yeah.
But it's way different when you're actually in the field.
Yeah.
And you're like, you hear a pop and you're like,
Right.
you know. So I remember one time when I came back from somewhere, I can't remember where, and maybe Egypt or something, and I'm walking down what's that really long street that goes through Brooklyn with the train over it? Is it Broadway?
Yeah, it is Broadway.
And I heard a car backfire, and my adrenaline went boom.
Yep.
No one else cared. No one else noticed because it was a car backfiring, but it was like a huge pop, and I started laughing, and I was like, oh man, I've been going on the ground a little bit too much, haven't I?
Well, there's gunshots in Brooklyn every so
Well,
often.
so the thing was that I'd been traveling so often to these foreign countries where there's live and riot weapons that 99% of the pops I was hearing was a weapon.
Yeah, actual
So when I was
gunshots.
back in Brooklyn, like back and I hear a pop, it's
PTSD.
like my brain says weapon. But so I get an adrenaline spike, and then I saw the car and I was like laughing. And I'm like, I actually enjoyed it. I was like, this is hilarious. It's like I think it's funny. I think it's cool. It's like I'm on edge because of the crazy stuff I've been doing. You can't get that, man.
Nope.
Because there's no way to it's the craziest thing about actually training with these weapons, because no matter how much training you have, you can't prepare for the anxiety you get.
Yep.
And a better way to explain it is if you ever play music or sing or tell jokes or perform, how different it is once you get on stage.
Yep, exactly.
The most annoying thing in the world to me was when I would do skate competitions, when I would get early session jitters, and I get really angry because I'm like, I know I can do all of these things, and the fact that I'm getting anxious because of a contest is going to make me lose. My body why are you so dumb?
Yep.
Just
Right.
let me skate like I normally do and I'll
Infuriating.
win. But you get the jitters, you got to get over it, you got to get used to it. And the only way to do it is to actually skate in contests and get comfortable and get used to it while everyone's watching and
Yep. It's true.
All right, so let's see where we go. Okay, we got a couple here. Nate Weber says, sorry, drinking scotch.
Ooh.
I wonder if the goal is Trump to continue the current situation, but escalate it in order to promote the Cloward Piven strategy. Thoughts on the Cloward Piven strategy? I don't know.
Can you
what
look that
is.
up, Lydia?
I did look it up.
Oh, what is
Do we
that?
have
What is
time
that?
to talk about it
Yeah,
a
yeah.
little bit?
What is it?
Okay, so the Cliff's Notes is it is a political strategy outlined in 1966 by American sociologists and political activists, Cloward and Piven. They called for overloading the U.S. public welfare system in order to precipitate a crisis that would lead to a replacement of the welfare system with a guaranteed annual income and end poverty.
You can't end poverty.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Poverty is relative. If a poor person today has a refrigerator and air conditioning, how do you compare that to a poor person? How do you compare that to Rockefeller? You know what I mean? So look, I get it. Some poor people are homeless, but you take the average person in poverty in the U.S. and they have medical debt, but they've also gotten treatments for diseases that would have killed you in the 1900s.
Right, they got shots that prevented them.
Poverty
from
is all
polio.
relative.
Yeah.
No matter what happens, no matter what we give someone, poverty will always exist.
There's always going to be someone that doesn't want to work. that's just simply lazy.
That's true.
I mean, it doesn't matter what their upbringing is. They just won't want to do the work.
And the easiest way to get stuff is to blame the system and say it's not fair.
And that's what we're seeing right now.
I'll tell you what's going to happen. It's going to be 100 years, and there's going to be poor people who are immortal with perfect health care. They're cured of all diseases. They have free food. They can fly around with jetpacks.
Yeah.
They have implants that allows them, a lot of them to have telekinesis, and they're complaining that they don't get interdimensional travel. And they're like, it's not fair that we're impoverished. The rich people can travel to any planet in the known federation. It's not fair. We need to end poverty.
Hey.
Ooh. Cat fight. Literal cats are fighting.
Oh yeah, they're going nuts over there.
No, they're playing. There's cats.
Oh no, she straight up bit him. Like,
yeah.
And he was like trying to get her
off. They do it all the time. They're cats. All right, let's carry on. What do you got?
Yeah.
The Lucky Josh says adrenaline is why you effing practice. Yep.
Practice.
Blue Saber says there are stories of cops who fire their gun in the heat of the moment with adrenaline pumping, and they pull the trigger but don't feel or hear the gun go off. So they pull the trigger more, thinking it is defective. Spin that UFO. That's what I'm saying, man.
I'll spin it for you.
I'm gonna ask you guys for a favor, man. We're really close to 20K likes. Can we pull that off? 20,000 likes.
Let's do it.
You have something to say, Adam? Adam has something to say because I don't want to leave. Because we're so close.
Smash it.
Smash that like button.
You better smash that like button. Smash that like button. Come on. We got 19K. Come on. We're almost there. We're so close.
20,000.
I would be so happy.
20,000.
All right,
it's 2020. Let's do the 20K. Come on.
Perfect.
Let's do it. Come on. 20. Smash the like button. Smash it.
First Last says,
I'm not done. I'm not. Smash. Okay.
All right.
First Last says, you mentioned that it could take one conservative commentator to get conservatives to engage in cancel culture against left-biased companies. Who would be the most likely individuals to engage in this boycott/cancel culture? I don't know, man. I think, I'm definitely not the person because I'm too,
well, and the problem,
fancy.
Yeah, the problem is it's like what I kind of said earlier. It's like the people on the right are working. They're busy. They have a plan. They've thought about it. They see the future and they're like, I'm working towards this. This is my future. Or what are these people doing?
But
what are you guys doing over there? They're like, well, we're just screaming at everything that pisses us off. And it's like, that's literally what they've made their job.
But listen. If you have 30 seconds to click forward, 5 seconds to click forward, then you win.
Whoa. Holy cow.
We hit 20K.
21K likes.
Whoa.
Seriously,
Thank you, everyone.
I'm taking this personal. All right?
It's Adam's job.
Good way. That's right. It is his job.
He must say smash the like button in his job description.
I'm gonna cry.
21.
I'm gonna cry a little bit.
Okay, but let's we've gone a bit over, and just the other day I was like, we can't go over anymore. I talk too much.
Your voice,
but
you do talk too much. I'm glad you admit it.
If Ben Shapiro, if Crowder, not only that, if any one of you listening just created an email list and said share this email list with everybody, and then when something happens, we're gonna send an email to the company saying don't do this, you would win.
Let's do it.
The right has no group like that. I'm not gonna do it.
Hey,
you can do it.
Hey, everybody. I know there's a lot of you out there that are sick of this that's going on right now. What's stopping us? What's stopping you? What Tim said it takes 30 seconds.
So here's how it would work. You have an email list of everyone's email addresses. Then you see a company like Netflix say we're gonna ban this movie. Then you email the entire list saying, hey, everybody, email Netflix and say, don't ban this movie. And then email gets influx of 50,000 emails saying, don't ban this movie. Guess what Netflix is going to do?
Not ban that movie.
They're going to be like, we don't want to lose 50,000 customers.
Yep.
Just don't ban the movie.
Boom.
But the right doesn't do anything like that. It's not even about the right. It's about people opposing censorship. They just sit back and they go like, that's awful. Myself included. I'm not like I'm free from this.
Would you join it if someone did create it?
I have absolutely expressed my outrage at many companies when they've done this.
No, that's not my question though.
So I'm saying yes.
Okay.
I've already done it with
or
without someone asking me to. I always hit up these companies. So
22.
Verizon recently announced that they're joining a boycott of Facebook over hate speech.
Wow, Verizon is.
So I contacted Verizon and I said, listen, I use you guys and I'm expanding my business and this is a problem for me. I do not want you to support this. And they said, your complaint is duly noted.
Okay.
Fantastic.
That's about it. Now, what happens when 50,000 people all say the same thing? Verizon backs off. Mission accomplished.
I'm about to hit Verizon up.
Seriously,
and
yeah.
let them know that you don't like the fact that they're engaging in this cancel culture stuff of Facebook, and say it is not your place to pressure a rival company and engage in some weird third-party tortious interference type issue because you don't like how they run their business.
No doubt.
Because activists hit you up and ask you to get political, you're now negatively impacting my life and my business, and I'm a customer. I'm not happy about that, Verizon. So if everybody just emailed Verizon and said, hey, don't do this, Verizon would be like, we're not gonna. Nobody told me to do it.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Nobody said, hey, Tim, I saw the news, and I was like, we're trying to set up Verizon for the new spot we're building.
It's true. Not anymore.
And I'm like, and now I have to deal with this.
Space.
No,
Yes.
what happens if Verizon convinces Facebook to ban all this and then my page gets banned? I'm not going to pay Verizon to effectively destroy my business.
That's a good point.
Verizon, get out of the politics game. I use them for mobile as well. So the last thing I want is them to do this. So for now, I send a complaint. That's all I'm complaining.
Yep.
Because you're threatening my company with your stupid politics. So there's why is there no conservative organization that does this? Because conservatives aren't organized in this way.
Yep,
they
they're
take
busy
political
working.
victories and they clap about how they got 200 plus judges in. Meanwhile, the culture is being overrun and politics is downstream from culture.
Yep.
So you might get those judges and then great. In 50 years, you still lost. Anyway, we've gone on a bit too long, my friends.
Yeah, you don't want to risk your voice, man. Come on now.
No, especially because, it's still a little sore.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm not gonna-
when you get all revved up too, you're like, oh man, it's good.
It's
It's
fine
great
as long as
seeing
I'm
you.
not singing
I
at the
love
top of
seeing
my
it.
lungs and
Oh, yeah, that's
like
true.
going nuts.
Well, I'll
So
sing.
anyway-
I'll sing it.
My friends, thank you for hanging out in this lovely night.
And smashing
Oh,
that
look
like
at this.
button. Thanks for that.
They say Ben Shapiro actually started Truth Revolt, but they shut it down in 2018. I don't know why.
Oh, wow.
Curious.
Let's bring it back.
Well, I'm not going to bring it back. You can bring it back.
See what I can do.
Let's look into it.
The Krigler matters. Anyway,
Krigler matters.
I think everybody's already smashed the like
Yeah, I
button,
think
so we really do appreciate
wow.
it. Subscribe.
Well, not everybody, but it's okay. I'm
People
all
are
right.
busy.
I'm,
You can
I'm not
follow-
offended.
You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Timcast. You can follow at Adam Krigler on Instagram and Twitter and Timcast and Twitter. And you can follow at Sour Patch Lids,
Yes.
LYDS,
Yep.
on Twitter.
I also started TimcastIRL on
YouTube.
On YouTube.
Oh, cool.
I haven't done a video yet, but I did upload my favorite video that I did with Cosmic Garth. I don't know if you know who Ian Crossland is, but while they were doing Joe Rogan for a few weeks, me and him did a few shows, and we did a deep dive on Tesla. And I love that episode. Tesla's an incredible man, so I uploaded that episode, and it's a lot of fun. So you
Very
can check it
cool.
out.
Word.
Yeah.
So you can also send Adam on Twitter story ideas and stuff. He puts up tweets.
Yep.
So we do use those for the show. But we will be back tomorrow at 8 p.m. live. We'll have clips up throughout the day. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. And we will see you all tomorrow, 8 p.m. live.
Good night.
Guys.